W2BTK. Hopefully that was enough to 0 beat. I'm hoping anyway. I retuned everything here. So I'm right on. Roger, right on.
I think I'm here. Did I make it?
I can't even walk around this room right now, Billy. I went over to go turn the vertical amplifier up. You're somewhere. You want me to?
Oh, it looks like I'm pretty damn close to where you are, so that's good. I didn't do it by ear. I just went back and forth a couple times.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. I'll be right on frequency. Give me 30 seconds and I'll drift there.
Yeah, well, it'll be like a race, you know, because I'm going to start drifting down a little too.
Yeah, oh wow, there's really some blower noise getting in here, isn't there?
Yeah, it's pretty noisy.
It's across the room too. I'm going to take it off of 250 and put it on 125. It doesn't need to be running that. I'm just trying to torture test it. Give me a second. Let me get rid of that crap. W2VW.
Yeah, cool. Got the thing blowing in the background, and that's cool. I guess I got 2 of those same blowers, so do something with those over here, like you said, free up some room. It's just it's a little bit of a job to take that out, I guess, because all the wires are run through, you know, the front of that blower, like the sheet metal part of it, but no big deal.
Yeah. All right. I still say a little bit. There's nothing I can do about that. I know that's a lot quieter than it had been. And my space diversity mic here has twisted itself around. It's trying to get away. It doesn't want anything to do with this.
Yeah, it's way better, but whoa! Oh my gosh. I don't know if that came over the mic. Way better, but you could hear, like, I guess the motor running. It's got a little bit of a whir to it.
Yeah, it's not something I want to deal with locally, which I'm not going to deal with it locally. That's not even in the cards. Nope. I had enough of that while trying out that other thing here. And subsequently trying out that amplifier with the big Russian tube in it. Russian tubes might be tough, but they're coolers. You really gotta... Man, it's like a turbocharged 4-cylinder.
Trying to get my stupid audio interface to work. I've never seen a Russian tube. I never had one. Never.
Oh, there I am.
There I am.
I have a little bit of echo now, I bet.
Echo now, I bet.
Yeah.
For some reason, this sound card, this DigiDesign sound card, when it gets plugged in, it routes the audio right. I don't know. I gotta shut this thing down in Windows.
It's annoying.
I've been walking around with the headphones on for the last 3 hours. I just took them off, and there's no place to put them. Like, literally, no place to put them down here that I can reach from the operating position. Just imagine that.
All right, there we go. I think I fixed it.
Does this work? Hello?
Does this work? Hello? Oh, yeah, everything works now. Cool. There's all kinds of crap going on. What's going on over here? Jack. This is Jack with the follow. It's all happening, Dave. W2BTK.
Something tells me it's all happening at the zoo. W2 very weak.
And my foot pedal's holding on for dear life. Like, I can't move it around too much. I have the cover popped.
You need to get rid of that thing, man. It doesn't seem to want to hold together very long.
No, it's not the actual foot pedal. It's just like the crappy wire I used, and the strain relief system keeps failing. You know, the wires suck.
I got Radio Shack rotor cable on mine. It's probably 40 years old, and I just pulled 2 strands of it off, and that part hangs in there okay.
Yeah, you don't move your foot pedal around a lot, though. Like, I use it with my hand a lot, sometimes my foot. Like, it gets thrown around and pulled on and, you know, up on my desk and then somewhere else. Who knows, you know?
Yeah, you're right about that. The only time I move this is when the floor gets vacuumed. I'll throw it up on the console.
Yep. And that, you know, you have probably much better, I don't know, this is really thin gauge, like telephone, or no, it's like, you know what, it's like 4 conductor security wire, unshielded, little chintzy conductors, and it's like, you know, it just sucks. It's the wrong stuff. Look, see, I unkeyed, I didn't mean to.
Is it solid?
No, it's stranded.
Oh, okay. Because solid would be even worse. Roger. Well, let's see. I'm coming up on 21 hours on this one device here. I think I'll give it 36. Maybe even 36 hours. I'll swap to the next one. I had already cooked one of these out in the open, just hanging, with a blower underneath it, pointed up with the heater voltage. And I said, why am I doing this?
I don't know. Why are you?
Then I took out the Tarnex, man. And, made a big difference.
Well, people are going to need to step up their game pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, you know what I have for an exciter? Anyway, you know, all this started because I pulled the kilowatt project out, and I started mechanically fitting all that stuff, and now it sits here. It's sitting right where it was sitting. So that's life, and it's not going to end either.
Yeah. That's a cool desk kilowatt. But I know how it goes, man. This is a cool project, though, that you're working on. I approve.
Yeah, well, I'm taking things that I learned. You know, I thought that was my my pinnacle, that other amp, but I'm taking a few things I learned, like vacuum variable drives.
What?
The damn drives for those vacuum variables tear my hair out. Getting that stuff to work without binding, they positively are less than fine business.
Yeah, well, man, those goofy capacitors that I used in that 810 rig, they had really nice, like, motors on them, like, they weren't that bad. Something like that would be pretty cool. They had a high voltage rating, too.
Yeah, I have to revisit and think about that. That's the regular, those were stepper motors, weren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be fun. My thing is I just don't like having a microprocessor someplace where it's mixed up with RF. I know you can do it. I know all about that. But, man, when I see high-powered RF and somebody trying to control it, sorry. I want dumb box. I want a dumb box with relays, no silicon whatsoever.
Yeah, I feel that. And you'd have to have some kind of little tiny computer. So, I don't know. It would solve one problem, but potentially cause another. But I like that thinking dumb box. That's a good, I don't know. I feel that. W2BTK.
Yeah, there's something to be said for the dumb box. Hey, how was Warren coming in over there when he was on?
He's good. He's really strong and then faded out a little bit towards the end, but still really good copy.
Yeah. That's, you kind of picked up on what I was thinking. The band is, it's not quite cranked in the high angle at the moment.
It's doing just fine. I mean, I don't know. It's been weird conditions lately. So this is fine. The band works.
Roger. Let me try something here. Hang on.
And make it work.
You're 5. Okay. How's this, Billy?
I only hear a little more of it.
Okay, I'm flying kind of blind here as far as modulation percentage. It looks like it's too much. I'm just trying to get, wow, levels here all over the place. Just trying to get this thing somewhat more dialed in because I'm going to have to be using it.
I hear you. Oh, it sounds okay. It's heavy. It does sound, it's heavy Dave, but it sounds good.
Yeah, you're right. This thing has got a lot more low end in it than the other thing. So I'll give you an A-B here. Here's an alpha. Maybe you can look at the SNR. Alpha, 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 bravo, 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 alpha, 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 bravo, 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 over.
Yeah, well, Bravo condition, kicks the crap out of the other one, but, it's, I didn't quite catch the SNR change. You do it one more time, just once, I'll be able to tell you.
Forget it. Was it because you just weren't looking?
Well, the mouse wasn't hovered over it, so I had to do it. I got the mouse in position, and then, I was paying attention to how it sounded, and all that took so long, I never looked at what the SNR actually was.
Yeah, that shows up on the recording, right?
Yeah, I think it wasn't on the whole time, though.
All right, maybe I'll do it again later. I just knocked all the, I just wiped all the settings on that. And I'm not putting them back. That's enough of that.
Man.
I'm out of patience today, man. It's me.
Yeah, well, you've been drilling holes and working on RF crap, so I don't blame you.
My warm-up to doing this was way worse earlier in the week, so this is a walk in the park.
Uh-oh. Why? What did you have to do earlier in the week?
OPEC needed 100,000 mile service and get the 100,000 mile service, 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 and get the 1 transmission screen out, you got to drop the exhaust. Yeah, I felt the same way.
Rust all day.
You know, my biggest problem was I don't use, especially with exhaust, I only use hand tools, and I'm not up to, my right hand isn't anywhere near as strong as it could be, so I'm looking for ways to do it. It was a little bit unpleasant, but I got it. It's done.
Thanks, Tommy.
And that was that. Changing the plugs was fun, man. There's one Sparkium plug in there, the number 8 plug, that getting the plug out itself isn't so bad, but the spark plug wire, you gotta get the wires, you have to kind of give them a twist so that the boots break away from the spark plug insulator, the white porcelain stuff. Otherwise you ruin the wire. And I've got spark plug wires that are 35 years old. They're fine as long as you remember to do that. But once you do that, you wreck them. And, you know, it's like, I'm not going to waste money on this crap. So it was more work getting that wire to twist on that one spark plug than it was changing all the other plugs.
Dude, that's the same deal with the Crown Vic. They have the same crap. You know about those cars. You probably change plugs in those with the deep wells and the one you can't get at. Same thing in my Suburban, the old Suburbans, man. One of those plugs was really hard to get at all the way back. I think that's like, I don't know. I don't have a good track record with spark plugs, so at least you didn't blow one out of your head gasket after you changed them. 'Cause that's what happened to me last time.
Yeah, W2 very weak. Yeah, I changed plugs on a 4.6. The only thing I remember about it was you had to take the time to blow them out because the stuff gets in there.
Yeah, all kinds of particles and leaves. It's like a deep well for crap to collect in. Sometimes water. Actually, like, those intake manifolds like to crack, and then those things will fill with coolant. Your plug will go dead. That's pretty common too. It's like half plastic, half metal intake manifold.
Oh yeah, I remember when that was a common thing that you'd see everywhere in the automotive trade, of cracked intake manifolds, plastic ones. I think they fixed that, or they either all died or all repaired, because I didn't have to deal with it with the cop car that I had, and don't remember anybody else I know having to deal with that. I guess they all just died years ago. All these cars have this built-in crap, and I'm thinking about OPEC has some built-in crap, like the struts, the front struts, and the condenser, the AC condenser too, went in it. And I think to myself, well, all the cars that I really liked, and the ones that I was able to keep alive for years and years and years, they all had growing pains also. But if you knew what to do about it, you were good. So anyway, we'll be driving a hovercraft trying to do it anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about working on cars that just I don't find it fun anymore. I really got to get that Mustang going a little. I got to put a fresh battery in it, and then I could probably start it up and drive it around. It's got a flat tire just from sitting. It's a shame. It's such a nice car. The 2 Suburbans now, both have, a bunch of Lease Navilles on them. That stuff. I don't know. it just sits there. I have no motivation to work on cars. Just not like something I wake up like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do today. There's other stuff I could work on, and that's like at the bottom of the list.
Why don't you rent a woman and just tell her to come over and nag you for a while? You know, like make a couple, 3 days or a weekend or a long weekend, and she'll tell you what to do, and then you send her on her way.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally do that, or I could just thin the herd. I don't need. I've got 5 vehicles here. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, it hurts to do that. I still feel some pain because we had, between Ada and myself, I think we had 8 cars at one time, and they were half of those were inherited from the kids. Where the kids got older and they went and bought cars and like, here, take this piece of crap. I can't sell it. And like the cop car. I told you how I got the cop car. My son used it in college, and he got himself a newer car, and he didn't want that car anymore. There was nothing wrong with it. It had a lot of miles on it, but there's nothing wrong with it. And he's like, how much money should I ask for it? I told him, don't go below like $1,500, I think I said, because the car had, it was a good car. You could jump in and go. So he tried, and yeah, the market was soft. I looked at it. It's like, nobody wants to spend that on one of those. And it sucked. So I took it, and I gave him the money. And I drove it for a while. And then I got sick of looking at it. So I ended up giving it away to a family member that was down on their luck. And then he checked out. Like 3 or 4 months after that, he checked out.
Wow. Well, that's bizarre. I mean, sorry to hear it, but the Crown Vic's got problems too. I'm gonna have. There's like a local guy over here, and he's got some kind of tool that he apparently made to deal with the spark plugs blowing out of those aluminum heads, and repair it and put something in there. And he's confident about it. Like, he knew exactly the problem, and he's like, oh yeah, I made a tool. Like, so I bring the car by him, and hopefully he can just repair it, like, one day, whatever, not a whole lot of aches and pains, and then the car should be fine. I gotta start driving that again, I'm putting all the miles on my Subaru, and when I don't really need to. I got that car to get up the hill in the wintertime.
Yeah, that's a good car to wear out if you can get it to hang in there. Just make sure it's not a one-time only. You put the plugs in and that's the end of it. But I guess with a modern fuel system, you can get 75,000 miles out of a good plug anyway. So maybe that's it. That's the one thing I noticed with OPEC is the length of the threads and the amount of turns on those spark plugs is ridiculous. Like, you're turning the thing and it's like, is this ever going to be over with? They really gave themselves plenty of thread, which is probably the way everybody in the whole planet should have done it with aluminum heads.
Yeah. Well, having a car with aluminum heads anyway is like, it's like, that's like race car stuff. You don't need that. But, those Crown Vics are performance cars, severe duty, cop chase them down type deal. So, maintenance sucks. W2BTK.
Yeah, a lot of police departments are still running those things, and they're getting pretty long on cuts. I think the mechanics must love them, and they can keep them alive and save the taxpayers money. Gee, imagine that.
Yeah. Imagine that. Jeez.
So I got this really nice vacuum variable drive, and it's got limits turns limits built in.
Oh, nice.
And what I really wanted to do my whole entire life was build an RF deck with a vacuum variable vertically and put all the right angle stuff in, but it ain't gonna be. I'm not doing it that way. I don't care. I need to get this thing done, and it's not, so far I haven't compromised, but the game gets harder, because the more crap you put on the chassis, the more you got to think about how much more mechanical sweat equity am I going to put in this thing.
That's what got me, too, with all this stuff. It's like all the mechanical crap that has to go on to make everything work. It's like, yeah, it's like very time consuming and not easy.
You got to make yourself into an electrical carpenter.
That basically, you know?
It's exactly like carpentry. Exactly. No different, except you're doing it with ferrous and alloys and all that crap, and you need the rules where you can't. I don't want to jam a tool really close to the enclosure if you're going to run it all the way up on 10 or 6 meters, and all those rules that people online are building amplifiers haven't learned yet.
Well, yeah. That's probably why I'm not done with my build yet. Carpentry is, I don't know. Not sure how I feel about it. I'd rather be, well, you know, I'm an electrician, you know. I like doing that kind of stuff. It feels like carpentry, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I used to hang around with this guy who was a contester, and he had a pretty good collection of parts. And for a while we worked together. So it was like, this is contest weekend. We're leaving work at 11 a.m. on Friday, and we're going to finish the amplifier. Okay.
And then it goes boom 4 hours in.
He was the layout guy. He did all the layout stuff. And he had been around the block where he had seen, like, the circles that he ran in were like alpha amplifiers, like the people who built them, like the founder of the company, and people that worked for him were his friends and neighbors and all this crap. And other people way up in the electronics field who were all hams. So he had like the background. So he had no problem doing the layout and just going nuts. And so we got it to work. And yes, that's the amplifier. That's the amplifier that he blew up in the middle of the night, and calls me up. I'm in a deep sleep. He's like, just blew up my plate transformer, man. I need to borrow your someday plate transformer right now.
Yeah, borrow forever.
Yes, but that was my someday transformer. Not Sunday like the day, but someday. That was it.
Oh. There it goes. The foot pedal's crapping out on me. Someday. Oh, well, that sucks. That totally sucks. I've got a someday transformer in the other room over there. You've seen it. Nobody's borrowing that for no condom tasting.
W2VW. Yeah, that's a nice piece of iron, man. I've got its little brother here. Never even did any more than just look at it. I've looked at it, and I'm like, okay. Because you know how many of these, the transformers that Big Blue has, I still have 10 of those. And the choke, I still have, I believe, 3 of those, and another 3 that don't have the air gap in them, so they're not swinging chokes, but it's the same winding, it's the same core, it just doesn't have the gap in the core, so they're smoothing chokes. So I have 6 of those.
You make like the 156 whole like family, not just the twins. It'd be like quintuplets.
Yeah, I really don't see the point in that.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe just to show people that the correct way to do it.
Yeah, I just don't see the point in it. If I were going to build something like that cuckoo, I'd be using it for moon bounce on, 1.3 gigs or something, I mean, who needs it?
Yeah, no, nobody needs it. It's stupid. I don't know. You could do it though, or you could get out those TV tubes, the big ones with the handles.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I am going to. Those tubes are going to go for a ride, man. I'm leaning toward in the future getting rid of those suckers. Maybe I'll keep one.
Yeah, I mean, well, could you use one like how, for this?
Well, you could, but you really have to enjoy extra BTUs to use one of those. See, the thing with Big Blue is it's like a Honda Civic of amplifiers. It doesn't waste anything that it doesn't have to.
Yeah, I hear you. That thing is just like, industrial crap.
Yeah, well, it's built for somebody with zero eyesight.
Well, Big Blue is, yeah, yeah.
Yes, and these things are industrial crap. I think just the filament is about 980 watts, I think.
Yeah, that's too much.
And you can't step it. It's got to sit there, even though it's just about instant on. Now, the other thing with those filaments is that just to get them to come up, man, they pull some ridiculous amount of current when they're cold. You've got to, yeah, I mean, all the steps start that Big Blue has in the filament, that's optional. You don't need that. You can plug it in the wall and slam it on, right? The tube's not going to last forever if you did that. Whereas these things, you've got to overbuild the filament iron like a battery charger transformer, and I have them. They have aluminum windings, automotive battery charger transformer to limit current. Almost a perfect way to do it. I've used those before for large valves, and they do work.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess this tube will last forever. You could get one of those to last forever, I guess. But you need to upgrade so much crap, so much like HVAC and electrical service and this and that. It's stupid. Just like get some kind of crazy antenna.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, maybe if I went somewhere out in the middle of no place and I were a little bit newer at this, I kind of enjoy playing the small block thing, like right here. This is a small block.
Yeah, you get a lot of street cred for that. But, you know, living somewhere where you can do whatever you want, that's cool too.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's going to be in the cards anymore, man. Everything is different. COVID-19. Yeah. Beechwood Mountain is looking really good.
Oh, man. Well, you'll make it to America someday.
Yeah, they can spread my ashes there. Let me go 0 beat. Hang on.
Ooh. Hello. I'm just looking at my meters. Reflex low. Look, it's very low. That's nice. You 0 beated it? Probably. You're good at that.
Yeah, I also, once the top comes off of the 807s, I like to have all of the panels in place over in the dangerous area.
Oh, yeah.
And I have one off, and it's looking at me like, you jackass. Because I'm bringing I don't know if you ever saw what I do for 240 or 250, but it's right there, and I can grab it right in there. And that's what I did with this thing.
I see. What do you got, like a somewhat large breaker, and I don't know what size, what size wire you got?
No, this is just for the on-the-air stuff, the rack, the equipment rack on the left. The bottom of it's got the plate transformer, it's got the choke, it's got the filter cap, and it's got all of the modulation, the 2 Antec transformers and my composite Heising choke. Clark.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. There's you cut a nice hole and brought some Romex through or something. I think I've seen that back there. I got same crap going on over here. I drilled a little hole in the floor and poked the Romex through. I got a bunch of boxes surface mounted on a piece of plywood that I drilled onto the wall there, so I can just kind of like bring stuff through the floor and slap it on there with a surface mount cover and rearrange it at will. It's not a bad little setup.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping somebody will pop in here besides us, because I got a few things I want to take care of, including buttoning that up. I don't like having that open while I'm on the air with an extension cord. That's in the same area as, well, you figure right now at this plate voltage, probably peak modulation voltage is over 5,000 volts on the very peaks.
Yeah, you don't want that riding on your extension cords there. I might have to get out the soldering iron.
Yeah, was that somebody breaking in?
Yeah, I figure I'll go ahead and do my step in here. N3TQW, taking space up on the air.
Roger. Yeah. Yeah, you're on 40, you're here. I'm waiting to flip on 160 and hear you.
Now, you might be talking about I'm the guy out in Pittsburgh. Now, this is Rudy, N3TQW, out of Hanover, PA. We spoke about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you haven't been on 40?
No, I haven't been on 40 at all. Actually, I came back from Fort Drum. I was up there for a few days up there in, 75 miles north of Syracuse, up there in Watertown. I just got back yesterday evening.
Well, how long have you been around on AM?
Probably about, let's see, 2004. Well, we're talking about 15 some odd years, maybe a little longer.
Yeah, okay, Rudy. Well, the transmitter I'm using now used to belong to W2WLR. His deal was Watertown's Little Radio, and my grandparents lived there. And my dad also. Well, my grandparents were there from 1927 up to 1972. Very, very, very familiar with that town. I was up there in 2013 or 14 last. And just couldn't believe the difference. Because like you say, because Camp Drum up there being used so heavily, it was like a night and day thing from what I remembered up there in my childhood. I certainly do understand.
Yeah, it was about a 6.5 hour drive from South Central PA up to there. I've been up there a few times. And where I was staying just right off I-81 there, and it was about maybe 5-6 miles to the main gate. So we were up there to take care of an issue that they were having with one of their video systems up there, and got that resolved. Got to go back up there again because they're having some issues with a time zone clock now. And the problem with that is that they have a total of I think eight time zones, and one time zone will not stay in sync with the others. So when it flips over a period of time, the doggone clock will actually start losing about 30 minutes about every 4 or 5 hours. And the problem is the company that makes these signs is out in Oxford, England, and they don't have any tech support. So I was up there dealing with that, as well as replacing a big 86-inch planar screen that had to get the two switching power supplies, and the thing decided to go out to lunch, so they planar did an advanced replacement and shipped that out to there, and I drove up there to install it and get it all set up for them. So anyway, that's where I've been, and then the week before that I was out in Warren, Michigan, doing an issue out there. So been all over the place here in the last few weeks. W2VW, this is N3TQW.
Yeah, wow, sounds like they're spreading you kind of thin. You're going to God's country here and God's country there. Well, at least you're going to America anyway. We're not sending you into New York City or something. Oxford, yes. Who the heck, can't remember, there's a couple of companies there that are still in business in electronics. Maybe mixing boards or some kind, I don't know, I'm not really an audio guy. Billy might know that. Well, it sounds like you're very skilled, and hopefully they're compensating you properly. I'm going to take a break here. I'll be listening for a bit. I want to get a few things done. I'm going to pay some attention to the dog here for a little bit also. So nice talking to you, Rudy. Pop in anytime. And by the way, we're on 3872. There were some guys down on 65 on SSB, and there was nothing else, so I figured 72 would be a good spot. There is some crap coming in from Europe, some digital crap, but I don't hear it very loud right now. So pick it up there with Billy, and I'll be listening. Good signal here, by the way. Go ahead, Billy. W2, very weak. And that's me.
Okay. Say hi to Gotham for me. Hopefully my foot pedal holds in there. I'm going to try not to move it at all. I don't really want to plop the soldering iron up here, but if I have to, I will. Maybe one day I'll fix this thing correctly. Anyway, name here's Bill. Call signs W2BTK here in New Jersey on Montana Mountain. Running my Viking 2 into a homemade amplifier actually built by Dave back in like the 90s. It was a 20-meter mono bander, and it's since then got a band switch stuck in it, and well, here we are, 3872. So take it away, W2BTK.
W2BTK M3TQW. Yeah, I was down on 3870. So that's why I thought you guys were conversing. But anyhow, yeah, good evening, Bill. W2BTK M3TQW. And I was just hearing you guys converse back and forth, and it sounded like Dave wanted to jump out and put the lid on whatever he was working on. So I figured I'd go ahead and jump in. Yeah, I spoke to you guys about 2 weeks ago. I hopped in here and was enjoying the conversation that you and him had, plus with a couple others there. So I figured I'd chime in again on Saturday night and find with the homebrew amp that he put together. It sounds good. It sounds good. I mean, both of you guys were giving me about 25 to almost 30 over down here in Pennsylvania. We're running a homebrew pair of 813s modulated by a pair, and it's being excited by an Apache TX1, driving about 5 watts into the RF deck. I'm putting out about right now I got it set up for about 250 out right now. The single will do about 325 at tops. So that's what we're using. Plus the antenna is just a long wire with a coupled fed tuner up in the attic, and then from that tuner it's long wire going out of the house right to a tree out back, about 100 degrees up about 35 feet. So that's what we are using here. So back to you, W2BTK M3TQW.
Yeah, real cool. I'm not exactly sure where that is in Pennsylvania, but we're not far. I'm in Jersey, but I live only about 4 miles from the PA border, from like the northwestern, that little kind of triangle that sticks out there, right in there. But yeah, sounding good, really good signal here. I don't have an S meter on this receiver, but I have the relative SNR that you've got is about 60 dB, so very strong signal, sounding good. The long wire, I've never tried that. I've always had dipoles. I'm running like a low dipole here, lots of high angle radiation. It's only about just a little under 40 feet to the feed point. It's fed with open wire line, and I don't know, it works great for local stuff. Usually get good reports, but it's not worth much DX. Sometimes I use it for FT8, and it doesn't work very well. I used to have a janky wire 20-meter vertical, and I worked all kinds of DX with that thing, and it fell down, and I said, oh well. So, yeah, but you're sounding good. Nice signal. I think you said your name was Rudy. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. And like I said earlier, I've been on AM. Gosh, I got into it probably in 2003. And the reason why I got into it was because I was listening to guys on 3885, and I said, man, those stations sound beautiful. I mean, the audio and all that. So, and I was mostly a CW and sideband guy, and now I hardly ever even get on sideband anymore. I basically will get on the CW side and pound the brass with somebody once in a blue moon. But I've been doing the AM stuff for quite a while. I don't get on that much due to my work schedule, where I'm basically traveling here and there and everywhere. So basically, when I get the chance, I usually just hop in and listen for a little bit, and then I'll either chime in or just start calling CQ. Most of the time I hang out down on 3705. There's a little group of us that get on in the evening hours, like around 5:30, 6 o'clock. And we got there's like 4 of us that get on there, and usually we'll draw a couple other people in during the conversation. And then when there's nothing going on down there, because we've got sideband activity up on 3710, we usually quit around 7 o'clock, 7:30, maybe 8, depending on how the band conditions are, and then that'd be it for the evening. So this evening I went down to 3705, didn't hear anybody going on down there, so I scooted on up here to see what kind of activity was going on. So anyhow, back to you. W2BTK, N3TQW.
W3SCB.
W3SJB, I heard you in there. I'll send it over to you. That's cool. I can't hang out there with 37, whatever. I'm just a general. I've been studying for the extra, though. I've had my general for, you said you started in 2003 with AM stuff. I might have been licensed. I had my tech for like 10 years before I got my general. I've only had the general a couple of years, maybe 3 years now. So I gotta study. I just need a little motivation. I mean, I've been saying it forever. I didn't get my extra. I'm gonna get my extra for the past 2 years. I should go ahead and do it. I'm sure I'm missing out on a lot of good stuff that happens. But anyway, over to the breaking station. This is W2BTK, Bill, New Jersey.
Good afternoon, Bill, and the other our name their station. Name here is Sam, down in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm just a little lightweight station on 100 watts, but I got an 80 meter loop up, so hopefully you guys all hear me pretty well. And the call sign's Whiskey 3, Sierra Charlie Bravo. W3SCB, name here Sam again. I'll turn it back over to, I don't want to say Russ, but that's not it. The other station, go ahead.
Okay, Sam. I think I copied your call sign down, W3SJB, N3TQW. Your name here is Rudy. Rudy, that's Romeo Uniform Delta Yankee, and we're located just north of you, up here in Hanover, Pennsylvania. Just about 7 doggone plate tuning capacitor keeps arcing over on me when the takes. We're located in Hanover, PA, actually in Penn Township, which is outside of Hanover, about maybe probably about a half a mile from Cador's Park, Cador's State Park, where Lake Marburg is. And we're running a pair of 813s, body rate by pair. Driving it with a Hitkit Apache TX1 with outboard audio equipment. So that's the station makeup here. And you got a good signal with 100 watts up here. You're giving me about 20 over S9. So everything about W2BTK, N3TQW. And by the way, yeah, I've been licensed since 1993-94. And I started off with my Tech Plus, and then I ended up working my way up to an extra class. And the reason why I ended up getting the extra class was I was challenged in our radio club. One of our members, who used to be the trustee of our local repeater, which is the W3MUM system up there in Pigeon Hills on 147.33. And I was actually the station trustee for that repeater. So we didn't have anybody who was in extra class, and the guys who had doggone plate cap, who have extra class, they moved on. They moved out of the area or whatever. So I assumed the duties back in, what was it, 1998, 97, 98 time frame. And at that time, I was only a general at that time. And so when field day came up, nobody could work, nobody could do anything in the extra class band. Well, we didn't have any extra class operators. But we only had one guy that actually came back who was in extra class. And he was like a manager for Radio Shack, and so he would travel the area quite a bit, managing store to store, depending where he was, wherever he had to go to. And during one of our club meetings, since we were working on the repeater and updating it, he was talking to me and he says, listen, we need to get an extra class person to, be trustee of our state. And I said, yeah, I guess we're going to need to. He looked at me with a stern eye, with a group of 20 other guys in that room. He says, I think you need to get your extra class. And I said, are you challenging me? He says, yes, I am. And that's where it took off. So that's how I ended up getting my my extra class, and I took it like a couple of months before they lifted the 20-word code per minute. So at least I got that under my belt, that I have that 20-word per minute code. So I've been an extra class since I think 2004. I think that's when it came in. Yeah, about 2004. So now I don't have the time to maintain the repeater system or the club station anymore. Now we got a couple other extra classes that are in the club now that are handling that function. So anyway, over to you there, Bill. W2BTK N3TQW.
Yeah, that's cool. Get a little kick in the pants, and that was enough. Go get it. That's what I need. But I could see that not being too much fun on field day when you're working the club call sign and you got to stay in the general portion, man. That's a lot of good stuff happens in the extra portion. That's the one thing, like, I'm sort of interested in, like, DX and stuff. I've got the DXCC and all that for like 20 meters. I did a little bit of that kind of stuff, and I find enjoyment in it, but like being just a general, a lot of that good DX happens not there on other bands and stuff. So I don't know, if I was a little more into that, I would have probably done it already. But I think it's just like, I have a lot of fun just coming out here BSing on around 3870 or whatever, or 3885. And I just do that, and then, I'm working and I don't have too much free time. So eventually I'll do it. It'd be a lot of fun to go down and talk to some of the guys who I might not have talked to yet, who do cool stuff with AM or the hobby in general down in the extra portion when there's nothing going on up here, or you just need a change of scenery. Anyway, get it back over to Sam, W3SJB, W2BTK on Montana Mountain.
All right, guys. Yes, W3 Sierra Charlie Bravo. It's my initials. So hopefully you guys can both hear me quite well. I don't know how this radio actually sounds. You guys sound fantastic. Because you guys are, I guess, have all the, probably got run high mics or something better, and then you also have the decent amps. This thing is, I'm just running 100 watts into a ICOM 746 Pro. I'm going to try and set up through my signal link so I can actually use my computer and have a little better audio, but just haven't quite got it all set up yet. And back over to Rudy there, W3SCB.
Doing great with 100 watts here, by the way, Sam.
I didn't hear the audio. Well, very good, Sam. doggone it. Whereabouts around Baltimore are you? Are you around like the Towson, Parkville area, or east, west of the city? I'm just kind of curious. Back to you.
I guess I'm kind of south of the city. I'm actually in Antelope County, right outside of Glen Burnie, little place called Ferndale, or Linthicum actually. Right by St. Philip Neri, if you know where the Catholic school is down here, the big church. It's right off of Ordnance and B&A down here in Glen Burnie. Kind of sitting on the edge of the hill, but I have the loop runner in my backyard. I would say it's maybe 35, 40 feet up. So don't do too bad a job.
Okay, yeah, I'm very familiar with that area. Worked down at Fort Meade quite a bit, and plus I did cell work as well in that area. So very, very familiar with it. Very good. Yeah, you're coming up here nicely. You get a good strong signal there with the equipment that you're using. All right, Bill, go ahead and pick it up. M3 TPW.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Sam's doing really well. 100 watts setup he's got there. So your I don't have an S meter. Your SNR here, Sam, is like 50 dB over the noise. So you got a hell of a signal into my area here in Jersey. And I'm running, it's like dipole 40 foot at the feed point. It's non-resonant for this band, fed with open wire though, and I got a homebrew double L network tuner feeding that length of wire, and it works pretty well. The transmitter is a Viking 2, and that's being externally modulated with a solid state audio amp that I've rigged up with. I'm actually using toroidal power transformers as a mod transformer. Two of them kind of cascaded to give me the proper turn ratio that I need to match the 4-ohm output of this. It's like a PA amp, like you power speakers with it. It's 4-ohm output audio power amp to feed the the finals in the Viking 2 and do that impedance jump. So that works pretty well. And then I got an amplifier behind that, YC156 iMac tube with handles. It's a nice tube. Anyway, we'll send it back around. It's the deal over here, W2BTK.
So what kind of solid state amp are you using there, Bill? I recall one of the conversations you were having with one of the fellas. Guys, it's been maybe a couple of months back. I was listening in. Are you using a Crown D75 or D75A? If I'm correct on that.
No, but I do have one of each of those actually. Those are only about 45 watts. Kind of wimpy. I mean, you could max one out and probably get it to work with this, but I'm running super overkill. It's a Crown Comtech 800. It's like a commercial amp made to just run and run and run, and there's a ton of headroom there. It's 800 watts per channel, so I'm just breathing into this thing. And I've launched one of these Class H Crown amps before doing this, so you need pretty good duty cycle. This has big old fans in it. It's made to run for a long time, and it's got a lot of thermal protection in it. Like it'll throttle the output power based on how hot it gets and stuff. Just a lot of goodness in there, and it's a tank for this. And I could modulate something much bigger with it, which was the point, to just have a modulator here that I can stick a Class C deck in there and just modulate it. Right now, a pair of 6146 is like, yeah, whatever. I was going to use it also. I'm building an 810, a push-pull 810 rig. I could modulate that same rig with this, or maybe something even a little bit bigger than that. The only limiting factor is that mod transformer that I made out of those Antec transformers that I mentioned, that really, you can't go too crazy with the tube, because like above 2,500 volts or whatever, that thing starts becoming like kind of iffy. I know Dave had one running at like 3,000 or just above 3,000 volts, and it held together, but that's really running on the edge. So it's just it's overkill, but it's meant to just be like the house modulator, like stick a deck in there and modulate it. W2BTK.
Yeah, it sounds like you really got some heavy equipment there. What I'm using here, which is basically overkill too. Since my modulator, the 813 modulator, it'll do about 170 watts, about 200. I'm driving. I am an audio transformer. It's only a little 35 or 40 watt transformer reversed. I took one of the grids on the 813s. And that's being driven with a PVCS 800, which is a 250 watt, 280 watt output per channel amplifier. And I just put that thing back in the system. Someone was borrowing it for the church, and they got the other one back for repair. So I put it back in. Originally I was using a realistic PA amplifier, PA 100. Radio shack was still on, so that's what I was using during the meantime. And it works fine. Got the PV back in line again. So I'm like basically the same thing as you are. If I wanted to change something out, I had the equipment there. We're ready to roll and do a plug and play. So that's what we're doing here. Over to you there, Sam. W3 SJB N3 TKW. Let's see if you're still around. A few times up there, kayak. It's a nice area up there. My computer's being stupid and goes up my head forward. I can't turn my window, but I was actually wrong on my wattage, guys. I'm peaking out at about 20 watts, actually. That's all I'm trying to do is on it. I'm guessing antenna's going all the way. And back over to... I don't have that good. I was just listening and looking at the voices with the other. Who was next? 53, SPB.
Oh, trouble. There's another QSO going on right here in another mode, and you're kind of cutting up with that a little bit. I missed some of that, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, they're about, probably 10 down from us right now, and they're just coming up here. So, well, that's how it is. You have challenges to deal with when you have different modes running around the AM side. So, you said you live up in Triangle area in New Jersey. I'm trying to think of where that may be in reference to Homedale, Whippany, Liberty Corners, or are you up there in near Washington, New Jersey?
Exactly, Washington. My zip code is Washington, but the actual town I live in is called Harmony. It's right there, right on the NJPA coastline, or line there.
Right on the Delaware River?
Kind of. If you look at a map, you'll find there's a nice reservoir up there in that area, Merrill Creek, and I'm nearby that, up there on the mountain there.
Yeah, that's nice country up in that direction. Yeah, I did a lot of work up there in Bell Labs in my earlier years, and I'm pretty well familiar with that area as well. was transferred up there for about 6 months. Back in, what was it, 2006? Actually a couple of times I got transferred up there to do work. Our office was in Edison, New Jersey, and then I was transferred to Edison, New Jersey on a transfer, and I was stationed over in Whippany, and then I handled the Homedale offices, actually the Bell Labs, basically what that is, all the Bell Lab buildings that were up in that area. And the last time I was up there was back in 2006, 2007, when we became Alcatel-Lucent. We were actually Lucent Technologies back then, and AT&T before that, before AT&T spun off Lucent Technologies. So I didn't leave the company for the last 29 years. Changed names 3 times, but never left the company. I ended up retiring from ALU. But the big job that we had going on up there, we were upgrading their network infrastructure. They were shutting buildings down. They shut the Whippany building down that was up there, and we had to move the big 5 ESS center that they had there. Well, basically what it was, the system engineers for the 5 ESS, which is the actual switching system for the telephone office across North America and around the world. We had to move that equipment up to Homedale, because they were shutting that building down, and plus at the same time we were upgrading their network infrastructure, upgrading them from, I don't know why, but that's what they wanted, but they went from category 5E cable to Plenum Cat 6A cable throughout the labs and the whole entire complex up in there in Homedale. That's a huge building. That used to be AT&T's, one of AT&T's headquarters. The other one was in Basking Ridge. The other part of the labs were in as well. So we were actually doing that building, but we never did the Basking Ridge side yet. So anyhow, that was about the last time I've been in New Jersey, and most of the other times I've been in New Jersey was up at Picatinny Arsenal. There in, what is it, I can't think of the town now, where that's out of, but it's just right off of I-80, where I was working up there about 2 years ago. So anyway, W2BTK, pass it, just tossing a token in the air.
Since you can't hear me, I'll let you guys get back to it. 373 CS, thank you for coming back to me. You guys have a W3SCB.
All right, Sam. I'm hearing you a little better now. But if you're jumping out, I'll say 7-3. It's nice running into you out here. And Rudy, that's crazy. I remember all that, and I know about that. The name changes, AT&T to Lucent to whatever. Because I lived across the street growing up from the world headquarters there in Murray Hill. Like Murray Hill, Berkeley Heights area. I literally lived right across the street from it. Actually, the ham club that I was a member of when I was around. Okay, that's not a plate cap. That's my foot pedal. But anyway, it was my parents' house, and the club that I was in when I was living there with my parents, the repeater was actually on one of the towers on the property that Lucent, whatever the hell it is now. It was Nokia and Lucent and like all kinds of stuff throughout the years. I remember that though. Huge complex, like all kinds of stuff going on there. Used to land helicopters. Like I don't know, it was pretty cool. I just remember it being there, and when I was much younger, we would go skateboarding there, and they would chase us off. So there were lots of like ledges and concrete areas, and like it was just a big old complex. So that's pretty wild anyway.
Yeah, you had plenty of room to do that, do skateboarding, because you had large parking lots around that facility. Yeah, It's funny though. When I was working up there, we had to do a couple of stints of night work in some of those facilities, and the one was in Murray Hill. And we were there. We got there like around midnight because the shift was going to go from midnight to 7 in the morning, and we had to install some networking equipment and get it up, get it commissioned and get it up and running, and then do the cut the next evening. Well, anyway, this is back the time when we were still AT&T. And so we're in the lobby, waiting for the other two guys to show up, and we're talking with the guard and just waiting for the other guys to show up. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes walking in. He's got his briefcase on, he's got a knapsack on his back, and he's walking in. And I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at my coworkers, and I said, that guy's got his pajamas on. And and I said, I looked at the guard and I said, he's not fully dressed. He's come walking in. He says, oh, that's not. He says, that's nothing. He says, I've actually seen guys come running in here with just their underwear on, and these are scientists. So what he was explaining to us, he says, if they get something in their mind while they were asleep, and they come up with an idea, the first thing they do is they'll hop right in their car and they'll run right to the lab and try that idea out. And it's some strange stuff up there. And if you were walking around in those buildings, they had whiteboards set up in hallways. And these guys are so deep in thought on what they're working on, all right, they'll actually stop by a whiteboard and do high-level math on these boards to try to come up with a solution or an answer to what they are thinking. And I said, my gosh, I said, and the bad thing about it is I feel sorry for them because they were only given about 18 months to come up with a product or an upgrade to a product. And so they had a lot on their mind, and then plus, like with the 5ESS, 4ESS switching equipment, and plus other tool equipment that was being used in telephone offices and so forth and so on, they were always getting called from the local bell company saying, hey, we're going to implement this type of an idea. Is there any way that we can get the 5ESS switch to do something like this? And these guys will actually sit down and scheme up or think out, a replacement board, or come up with some kind of a circuit that they can plug into one of the CM cabinets to actually do what the customer is requesting and build the software for it. So there was a lot of stuff going on. Another thing too is I think I was in Whippet. It was Murray Hill. I was there and we're talking about some strange. There was one guy that his whole entire life, and he was a scientist as well. This guy always walked backwards. He never walked forward. He was always walking backwards. So you had some pretty strange guys up there, and that's all they do is they talk high-level stuff. If you're in a conversation with them, whatever they're talking to you, it just goes right over your head because you don't understand what they're communicating about, to you. And the bad thing too is if something would, like let's say with the computer systems I've worked on there, if something would go awry with the computer system, they're not allowed to touch it because it takes away from the work that they're doing. Although they are capable of fixing it, but they weren't allowed to touch the stuff. We were contracted to handle the work, so they can stay focused on what they were doing. So, but the way things transpired over the years, I hired on with AT&T back in 1986. And before that, I was working for Maryland Sound Industries doing pro audio and recording at that time in the beginning. When I got hired on, it was AT&T for 10 years, and then in 1996 we became Lucent Technologies because AT&T wanted to get into the local bell system business, do local calling stuff instead of doing the long distance stuff. So what happened was that AT&T wanted to get into that business, but the local bell operating companies said, why should we buy equipment from you and you're going to be our competition? So to curb that, they ended up spinning off Lucent Technologies. Well, Lucent Technologies started up in 1996, and by 1999, when all these startup ISP companies were coming about for the internet, somebody up in the upper ranks in the sales decided, hey, we got all these startup ISP companies. Let's see if we can sell them some networking equipment for their company, and we'll give it to them on credit. It worked for a little bit, and then all of a sudden these startup ISP companies started going out of business. Once they went out of business, now we have equipment that we installed that has been sitting in telephone offices dormant. They weren't even turned up or anything, and we ate that big time, and that's when our stocks took a nosedive. I mean, our stock price split twice, and we were sitting at about $136 to $146 a share at the second split, and then we went down to 5 cents a share, and we were taken off the Fortune 500 company list back in 2001. So at that time, Alcatel was looking to maybe purchasing us or merge with us. So when they were trying to merge with us back in 2002 time frame, it couldn't be done because we were still doing a lot of extensive work for the U.S. government and a lot of secure work, and it was not going to get signed off by the president. And they said, nope, you're not doing it. You're not going to be merging with a foreign company, which Alcatel was. It was a French company. So over those years, all these legal fees and everything, we're trying to find a loophole. So in 2006, they decided to go ahead and do a merger and just spin off another company, which was called LGS. Lucent Government Solutions, I think, or Services, and they would do the government work, and then the network side of Lucent would do the commercial side or the enterprise side. That worked out well because we were still collaborating between LGS and us. If they wanted us to do government work, we could do it, but we could not make bid on contracts, any government contracts, as vice versa. With LGS, they could not bid on any enterprise or commercial contracts. So we collaborated together through the years, and then so we were Alcatel Lucent then, and then by the time I took a retirement buyout back in 2015, a year later, Nokia ended up buying Alcatel Lucent, so now it's Nokia now. So I don't know how the Bell Labs are all split up now up there, but that's where it stands now. W2BTK. That's the short story of what has happened over the years with that company. This is N3TQW.
W2 very weak is back and better than ever.
Hey Dave, welcome back. And yeah, Rudy, my best friend's dad worked for Lucent, and he was doing something similar. Like, they were always flying him to Buenos Aires, and I think he was doing like networking stuff out there, like making antennas for that kind of crap and this and that. But anyway, wild ride, right? And you mentioned you did sound and recording for a while. I did too. I did live sound for a number of years before I became an electrician. Was working for a live sound company, and I had a house gig at this nightclub with all these cover bands and stuff. And, not like a budget thing. It was pretty high-end cover bands and stuff. We had a big system, digital board, Yamaha LS9 and all that, which was like the bee's knees then, for a nightclub. But I did that. I have a degree from Berklee College of Music, so yeah, that's interesting too. I'm very into all that stuff. But anyway, welcome back, Dave. I hope Gotham's okay and got some crap cleared out of there. regain your sanity a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah, man. I did. I know there were 3 guys in here. I don't know what happened to third gentleman. But anyway, yep, I did. Dog taken care of and kind of sort of enjoying the banter here. There's a little bit of side wash from stuff that's fading in from far away. But, man, you guys are holding your own. It's neat to hear Rudy's 813 by 813. There you go, Billy. You know, homebrew. They're tetrodes, so a lot less drive, but, you know, you might want to tell them about your 810 deal that you're working on there. I used 813s as a modulator for a while. And man, those things, a pair of those in the high mute triode connection really work well. Just need a decent driver. I use a 100-watt audio chip from NTE Electronics to drive my 813s. And yeah, Rudy, I'm using the Johnson 500 here, or the Class H transistor modulator. No QBs in the modulator. So that's the story. We get around here, looking at Billy's live stream, and whenever I click onto that after a while, all the comments in the stream chat, I have to look at the old ones, and it's small font, man. You're discriminating against old people. N3 TQW in the group from W2, very weird.
N3 TQW. Yeah, I looked at Bill. I looked at your website a couple of times, and it's kind of neat. Although it's really delayed. It's really delayed because you'll be on the air speaking, but you would not be at your microphone. And then all of a sudden you'll actually, you'll actually do a transmission on the video, and I'm hearing the conversation before your next transmission. You actually hear that finish first, and then all of a sudden you would key up and then continue on with it. So I don't know. It's got a heck of delay with that system. I don't know if you're aware of that or not.
Yeah, I know about the delay, and that's mostly to do with the servers that I'm on and this and that. I think it's the Twitch website, but you get the same crappy delay on YouTube and all of these streaming services. Some nights it's really good. Some nights it could get upwards of 20 seconds, but I just do it. People cruising around on the website, they're watching people play video games or do whatever they do on here, and then they might see this and be like, what the hell is this, get interested in the hobby a little bit. Like, it's kind of it's more for the people who aren't listening on the air and this and that, and also for documentation, because I upload all these to YouTube afterwards. So you can, if we were having a QSO and you wanted to know how you sounded, you just go see how you sounded, what your signal strength was, how how everything looked on the spectral display and this and that, and it's just a nice thing. And sometimes funny stuff happens too, and it's just nice to have a record of it. So that's that. I mean, there's been a number of people who have stumbled upon this and thought it was cool, and they're working on getting on the air, or they've gotten on the air, or upgraded their license, or done whatever. So it's kind of rewarding in that aspect.
Well, I tell you what, it's a good thing that you've done something like that, because the younger generation, they're so used to, they're into the cell phone stuff, and if they run across that stream and say, like you said, what the heck is this? It sort of like piques their interest, and saying, well, how the heck are you doing that? It's all frequency a little bit. Dial it down just a little bit there. Okay. And then when you mentioned it, and this was like about a month or two back, I said, I want to check this out, you know. So I was on the desktop upstairs and listening to on my receiver up there, and that's when I noticed. I said, "Daggone, it's almost like maybe a 3 to 4 minute delay before you actually would start, you know, your next transmission or whatever." But I said, well, I just heard him, you know, live on the air saying this, and then all of a sudden, you know, a few minutes later, you know, it's actually showing it on the network. So that was kind of neat. But that's nice that you're doing something like that. It'll actually maybe pique some interest with the younger folks. So like you said, what the heck are they using to do this with? You know, they're talking over the air, but yet this guy is also streaming the video of it. So anyway.
Yep. Dave said he'd be right back in the Twitch chat. You know, it's that's the other nice thing too. It's kind of like a little back channel. There, you know, there's discussion of what's going on the air there. It's nice for that too. You know, you can ask questions or whatever. But yeah, you know, it's a good thing to do. There's not a whole lot of avenues for like discovering ham radio. You know, you've got, you know, I mean, like the ARL does stuff with the Kids Day and this and that, or I think like I'm not even too sure how people find out about ham radio these days, or how much, you know, outreach there is. So it's been an interesting experiment, I'll say that much. But, you know, I don't know. It doesn't take much. But minutes of delay, though, that's crazy. The most I've ever experienced here, when I'll, like, load it up on my phone or something while I'm on the air, is like 20, maybe 30 seconds is, like, the worst I've ever seen. Minutes, that's wild. Like, that's not even live anymore. But, oh, well. At least it works, right? You know, I'm just happy that things stays up. Some nights, I don't know if it's my internet here or this or that, but like I can't seem to stay up with it. But yeah, whatever. W2BTK.
Yeah, I don't know what your bandwidth is. I know when I was. If I watch a streaming video from someone else's site or whatever, I'm still on the old antique DSL, and I'm running the maximum that they're providing for my service provider. And depending on how much usage it gets, it actually starts getting choppy. Everything starts breaking up. It takes a long time for it to reload. But with yours, whatever server I'm connecting to see your site, it seems to stream okay. I mean, there's a couple times where will just freeze up, wait for it to load, and continue on. But so far, after checking yours out a couple of times, it seems to flow pretty well. I mean, one of these days, if I decide to open up my pocketbook, I may move over to just upgrade my bandwidth, go over to the cable system. But my gosh, I mean, just to run cable television is costing me about $132 a month under Comcast, and if I add internet with that, we're talking about another $50-some on top of that, and I can't see paying, you know, close to $200 just to have both the internet service as well as television services. And the other thing too is that a lot of the stuff they show on there is I really don't watch that much of. The wife, she watches quite a bit of television since she's retired. Right now, her biggest kick is watching CNN all the time, and trying to get that doggone fighting with her with the Democratic narrative all the time. Saying you need to at least listen to both sides of the story. She watches that quite a bit as well as Lifetime, and then plus the local news channel here. So the rest of the cable I don't even use. But one of these days, if I decide to do it, I'll do it. But I just can't see paying that price. W2BTK, N3TQW.
Yeah, that's kind of the same. Well, I mean, I've got cable over here, and I had to upgrade my internet when I started doing this streaming stuff. It's had like, I guess 25 down and only 5 up. So the next step was like 100 down and 10 up or something like that, which it still stinks. Like, I just want the upload speed. But streaming just under 5K right now, KB. It's holding in there. 60 frames. 0 dropped frames, but that has more to do with my computer, I think. But yeah, it's the cable TV. I mean, I was just like, no, like, I don't want any of that. Oh, but for just like $20 more a month, no, I'm not gonna watch TV. I really don't watch any TV. I just want internet, you know, and I use, you know, like streaming services at night, something to watch movies at night every once in a while, although I haven't been even doing that much lately. So internet's all I care about here. There's only one that I can get. It's Service Electric cable. Can't get Verizon, can't get Comcast or anything, just because it's a pretty rural area where I am up on the mountain here. But, you know, we can get high-speed cable from that one provider, and I'm only on like their second tier, but it holds together, I guess, well enough to do whatever the hell I need to do. But yeah, 1080p stream, 60 frames per second, and Twitch won't let you upload faster than 5 KB per second, so I'm like just right under that. If you go over that, it starts to like do really weird crap, and I don't know why that is, but whatever. I wonder where the hell Dave might be back. See if he jumps in there. If not, well, back over to you. I'll just identify a lot because I can't keep track of the 10 minutes thing. I'm not very good at that. W2BTK.
WA3VJB.
Hey, Paul.
How you doing, Paul? N3TQW.
Yeah, hey, Rudy, you guys are sounding good in here tonight.
Well, we're trying to hold it up here a little bit. There's a lot of activity between 70 all the way up to 3885. It's like it's got a lot of activity going on.
Yeah, I'm just looking up my scope here so I can see myself. Hang on a minute. I don't like flying in the dark. And, take a look at the waveform. There we go. I had turned the scope on, but I didn't have it plugged in. There we are. Yeah, I've been listening to you guys for a while talking about cable TV and such. Man, it takes me back to the days when all I had was DirecTV. And even then it was a 3-season antenna because the trees would come out and the signal would go away.
And probably when it snowed heavily as well.
Yeah, or even rained hard. It was true. I was just skimming the top of the trees. There wasn't much when they had the little signal beeper. Out of 100, I was getting like, I don't know, 68 at best.
I think Dave has been, he...
And my parents, actually my father had one, and that was a 10-foot dish. And guess what Rudy was doing when it got a heavy snow, or even was downpouring? I didn't do it, but Rudy had to go out there in the midwinter time while I was dumping snow to wipe that dish off.
Well, that was your regular KU size dish, right? I'm talking about the little pizza pan size dish that DirecTV's got.
Yeah, this was the big ones back then when it was that's when it was popular.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah, it was before they went all encrypted too.
Yeah, when they went encryption, they went to the video cipher 1, and they went to video cipher 2. I don't know if they ever made it up to the video cipher 3 for their descrambling.
I don't know. When DirecTV first came out, I was really fascinated by the technology. I just thought it was so cool that a relatively small dish could pick up satellites like that, and you could watch TV from anywhere. I mean, cable-type TV from anywhere. My brother found a spare dish somewhere that somebody had discontinued, and I loaned him my box after I was... And he took it out on the... Everything I could find on the powerboat. And would set it up on the beach with an inverter at night with a campfire.
Well, if you're that dedicated in watching television, you'll do whatever you can do to actually get the service and watch it.
I think it was the novelty of being able to look at the satellite under the stars at night.
Yeah, it's amazing how the technology has daggone. I got that plate cap keeps arcing over on me. And it's amazing how technology has changed over the last 30 some odd years. I mean, I remember when the TVRO stuff came out, and that really was piquing a lot of people's interest. But the problem is, it was just the size that you needed, the dish size that you needed to, grab something off the birds that you wanted to look at. And then before you know it, like in the major city areas, you start seeing these big dishes going up on somebody's roof, bigger than that. Little 2-foot size dishes, which is a little bit more eye-pleasing.
That I'm black.
Living in an apartment area, that you'll see several of those along your roof line.
Yeah, I was on, I didn't even have DSL at the time, but Hughes TV had an option of sending telemetry through the same system, and even at its fastest, it wasn't very fast, and it was very expensive. So there was that it felt like a subcarrier data channel on the regular TV satellites that you could hear and see, and it's like, man, it's not worth it. And the cable, in those days was analog on coax or, semi-rigid hardline from the street. We lived too far down in the woods, and they wanted to charge a lot of money because it was farther from the pedestal than their maximum allowed distance. I said, forget it, and that's when we went over to the dish. But we had dial-up for the longest time. Billy was talking about his internet connection, and we were on dial-up modem through about, we've had this probably 15 years. That was the first time we had real internet.
Man, I remember, I'm just old enough that I remember, when the internet became a thing. I had computers before, plugging them into the internet was even, a thought in your head. My dad worked for IBM growing up, so basically, as soon as I learned how to read, he would literally, sit me on his lap, and we'd, play games on this IBM XT personal computer, which was like a rocket ship back then, 512 kilobyte hard drive. What the hell do you need that much space for? And I grew up with it. So when the internet happened, I was like, whoa, that's cool. We had a 14.4 kilobaud modem, something like that, then we got the 28.8, and I was like, whoa, cool, I can load a website in 2 minutes. And then, 56K, and that's when, everybody was on the internet. We had, our America Online and all that. That was fun, growing up with that. I mean, I guess I caught, the tail end of all that stuff. I was just old enough to be, immersed in it, just old enough. Pretty cool, though, that damn dial-up tone. And then, eventually we got DSL. Woohoo! Rudy's still got DSL, but I remember when we got DSL, and it was just whoa, man, I can download an MP3 in a minute, 40 seconds. It's holy crap. Mind-blowing stuff. And now, I'm where we're at. I remember, you'd go to... When I went to college, they had T1 and T3 that they would be using, and you could download anything. That was back in the days when you could just find stuff with those torrent files and illegal music and software downloads. It was running amok back then. They kind of clamped down on all that stuff since then, but all those old peer-to-peer file sharing stuff, man, you could I think I had like over 200 gigabytes of music on a hard drive. I still have it somewhere. It's just, man, yep, early internet days. Lots of vulnerabilities back then too, you know, like if you think about it, you could go back and lots of stuff was open in the early internet. Like you could just add something onto a link and you'd get somewhere you weren't supposed to be, where you could like actually do stuff, you know. It was like that these days. Holy crap, everything would be on fire. W2BTK.
Well, it's good that you actually got into the cusp of when things were actually kicking off with the internet. One plate caps where it started kicking off about 1995, especially like in businesses, and back in the day, I was actually troubleshooting T1s and T3 circuits. And once we, in my office in Columbia, Maryland, we actually had a T1 coming into the building, and we actually had a couple Cisco routers hanging off the one T1 that we had, and we went into another switch. And I tell you what, when we would play games over the internet, which had multiple players involved. And when all the techs didn't have nothing to do, that's what we did. We actually get on our laptops and we would actually play these games play each other over the internet on the office side of the network. And we would bog down that switch so badly that the other people in the other building next door, because we had a fiber link from where we were to the other building, they couldn't do their job. They were wondering what the heck was going on, and then we would stop, and all of a sudden everything would just like kick back up again. And so they actually came to us and said, "Hey, we need you to check." Everything seems to slow up like around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, and it lasts till about maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we can't get anything done. And our director was thinking about running another T1 in, or possibly going fiber directly to the building. And so we
W2BTK.
what was happening. And we would put, back then we used a network analytics sniffer. And we would put it in there and see what the traffic would look like. And I'll tell you what, that thing would, indication marks, tells you how much traffic was going to and from across the network. It would be almost close to about a little over 0.75% on the scale, all the way up. And the upper management and all the people that were in the finance group and all that, they had a heck of a time trying to do their job during the day while we were there playing these games. So we had fun doing that kind of stuff. But those days with the 14.4 modems, I remember those, dialing into the local telco office here to grab a line out to the real world to download something. Those days are pretty much gone, but yet still there is still use for it. There's actually still use for it. And one of the big uses that is still being used is the fax machine. That still uses 14.4 dialing. This is N3TQW.
A friend of mine has taken the old dial-up modem sound. Billy was saying that damn noise. He has taken the initial handshake noise, the send-receive tone, and made it his ringtone. So if you call his smartphone, that's the noise you hear. And of course, you have to be of a certain age to even know what it is. And I heard the thing go off the other day. It's like, oh, that's too cool.
Yeah, you just don't hear that anymore.
That's what made it so cool, is that he took the time to bring back this old technology sound.
Old technology. Oh, that's VJB. Never mind.
How are you?
Same as last night, just a day later. How about you, OM?
I'm good. Had a good hike today, and a nice adult beverage evening. Put the kids and the wife to bed. Out to play radio.
Oh yeah. Well, hey man, glad you showed up here. We needed somebody that's been around for a while.
Oh man, my foot pedals had it.
I just don't want to hear any crap from Bob and Bill after we get all these slot buckets in the distance really mad when we're down here, because they can hear us.
Are you sure? Because they don't seem to be aware of us.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can hear me. And I would think they could hear you. I haven't seen your antennas in 20 years, but I would think they could hear you, too. Well, you're closer to them.
Well, I was listening to a couple of selected nodes on the web STR, and I think they're hearing me.
Yeah, I like KFS. That's my favorite, because when I'm louder in the KFS than the QRM, I'm good. That's kind of my goal here, really, if you think about it.
Well, I'm kind of strategic about it. If there's a pocket of, shall we say, congestion, I figure out where they are and what they're hearing among themselves, and then I pick a node that matches and see how I'm doing into that particular region, and it's like, okay, yeah, they're aware.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. If they've got a
Sunshine,
QSO
thanks for the
going,
follow.
I'm sorry to barge in, because there was some real good back and forth here. I'm going to shut up. But if you hear a non-QSO, see, a lot of these guys are on here on the same frequency every night of the week. Every night of the week. They don't have QSOs. It's a non-QSO. So they really don't have to exchange anything whatsoever, unlike this QSO.
Oh, yeah. So you're talking about the quality of communication.
Well, I'm just talking about the fact that they don't have to get a fill, or they don't have to hear each other, because they're not really doing anything. Hi, Timmy, W2VW.
Hey, how we all doing? Well, I accidentally keyed up on 85. I didn't mean to break in there, but, it's been dicey. Bill and I were in another firefight this evening.
You're a gentleman, and hopefully Bill understands that. Your point is different than his. If you're going to talk about politics on amateur radio, you need to be able to deal with somebody who doesn't agree with you 100% of the time. I don't agree with anybody 100% of the time. I was going to vote for Kanye, but I'm voting for Joe Jorgensen. Over.
Yeah, I'm going for Alfred E. Newman. Remember, years ago when election time came around, was always Alfred E. Newman for president?
What, me and
Well, here you quite well, Dave, and Paul, you're doing okay. Billy, you're strapping out.
Yeah, you're doing good, too. I heard you last night, and I thought maybe you'd come back, but sounded like you'd reached your knee voltage.
Oh, I probably got busy with something.
No, you said dinner was on the table, so I imagine you just fell asleep afterward.
God. Who's that all about? I think my wife was telling me there was some good stuff on TV, so I wound up watching TV.
There's no really good stuff on TV.
Yeah, we were just talking about terror victim.
What?
The only thing on TV that's worth watching is the ads during the Super Bowl, and even that's going to go to crap now, because nobody's going to watch football anymore.
Yeah, I know. I went through that discussion with Clark, it's like, well, they have every right to take the knee and so on and so forth, It's like, well, they're all frustrated to hell as to what's going on, so how are they going to let people know how they feel, but to smack them up right against the head.
Well, Bob Dylan got a hold of John Lennon and said, "You got the world's ear, do something with it." So I understand it from that point of view, but you don't see these guys doing interviews here and there saying, "This is what we really think about this." It's kind of like you're going through a press release, and it's kind of it's not deep. There's no deep meaning, and the crap where you've got people making mayhem, the people who feel entitled to stealing crap, along with regular protesters who don't understand MLK, nonviolent protest. You're not going to get any place by breaking crap. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I totally agree.
I said I would shut up.
Yeah, I think that, as I've been, all through my life, when I become aware of things, I really didn't become aware of things until the race riots and the marginalizing of the blacks and all that. And when I started becoming aware of this crap, I was horrified. And the South was a place to stay away from, was, what I thought years ago. And then the later 60s, the riots, the lootings, the burning out of things, it's like, oh my God. But then you look back through history, and it's whenever a group of people get pissed off and they demonstrated their own way, then something incites a action to riot and destroy, rather than just keep on the pressure about why they're there in the first place.
Agreed. I've said enough.
Yep. So, it's just a flaw of human nature that, when you reach the tipping point, I liken it to like a nuclear chain reaction.
Bottom of the hour, WA3VJB.
W2 very weak.
W2BTK. Hi, Timmy.
And 3TQW.
Is that you, Brian?
Oh, that's Rudy.
That's who?
It's Rudy, don't take your love to town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brian and myself have similar call signs. He's TBW and I'm Tango Quebec Whiskey. And we pretty much, during our discussions, we got our license basically the same time around the same year, back in 1994.
Yeah, but you're in Hanover and he's out in western PA somewhere.
And you got a real AM rig.
Yeah.
Communist AM.
Yeah.
Who should have the Chinese, no Chinese parts in your rig net? Who's got the most red-blooded American parts in their rig?
I don't know if I do, but I don't think there are any Chinese pieces in the Junction 600 here.
Yeah, you could probably win that.
China invented when this Collins was built.
Well, the only thing Chinese is my microphonium.
Oh, no wonder you talk with a lisp.
Do I look at your cat funny when you talk into that, Mike?
I think my cat looks at me kind of funny.
As well he should.
I got a lot of German stuff in here.
Famous other Roman. decant myself a vessel of red stuff. Because after all, it's Saturday night.
Yeah, Billy, you got more Axis components going on there. Well, I've got some Axis stuff too. It's not German though, but hum is all American.
What hum?
The hum that you've had for a couple months.
That's phase modulation. There's information being sent on that, Paul. We're not supposed to talk about it. It's subaudible incidental carrier phase modulation. It's kind of the latest thing in sending information. WOR used it during World War II, by the way.
All right, I'm spooling up my decoders now to see what the special decoder ring produces.
Hey, you're the guy that accused me of sending subaudible tones because your speaker cone was popping in and out.
Well, if you got it, use it.
You remember that?
Sure I do, and it was all your fault.
Those same subaudible tones launched my cheap Radio Shack headphones when the kids ran down the steps one day.
Yeah, I remember my whizzer cone going dum dum.
Why is he doing that? Is that a way to get rid of slap buckets?
No, I think it's one of the... Remember Billy, Will, W2BTK used to talk about the circadian rhythms, and I think they were the same frequency.
Actually, I was sending Jump Into the Fire by Harry Nilsson. That's it, but it's more like... Whoa!
Bridge in the middle, he actually was just detuning the top string. He wasn't using frets. He was just winding down the turnbuckle.
Of course.
That's cool.
Dave, that was nuts.
You like
that? Crazy. Nobody else ever did it.
Did you hear that, Billy?
Yeah.
I don't know how this modulator can keep up. I really don't. But hey, man.
That was some for real lurch like frequencies.
Slap bucket.
Back to N3WWL and the lowest price in town.
I got him by at least 3 or 4 notes. I wasn't going to make a big deal out of it, but you mentioned it.
Yeah, well, STH has got both you guys beat.
No, he doesn't. Sorry. No, he doesn't. He just hikes his bass up really high and does the canter thing.
And that's the lowest price
in America. And I can tell you, Paul, that I don't smoke. I never smoke. Well, sometimes I make smoke.
Yeah, I can see the 810s glowing a little here. I better quit.
Let's make that.
Roger. Well, thank you very much. The lowest ham in America. W2VW.
Don't make them get the ribbon mic.
It's the lowest nutsack in America.
That man has 3 BAs.
You want the ribbon mic, Billy?
One testicle and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Jesus. Yeah, go ahead. Get the... where is the ribbon mic? If you can reach it right now, yeah, throw it on there.
Alright, well, I got the other mic too, but here's the rhythm mic. So I want to tell all you people that America is in trouble, and we need to do something about it tomorrow, today, and tonight.
Yeah, I can hear the foam at the mouth.
Thank you. I'm hearing some increased levels of
What?
Yeah, do I have enough sibilance here? I'm looking at my QC. I don't know.
Nah, you can always use a little bit more. In fact, I might ramp some in, or I could sustain my sounds a little with some reverb. Maybe that'll help. Maybe that little bit of sibilant hang will do something for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It just takes too long. Randy, by the way, went back over to Quick Break-In, which is a QRM fighting feature among people who use AM for a long time. So it's better than roundtable stuff, because nobody has that kind of attention span anymore unless they have nothing else to do.
I'm comfortable with that. I'm no problem with that at all.
Roger. So Billy, how's everything?
Things are super around here. Spectacular, if you know. I would say between super and spectacular.
Roger. Man, I'm really starting to wonder about this imbalance of channels in my modulator. It's getting scary. Wait a minute. 555. Yeah, see that there? Oh man, that's modulation depth, Bubba. Yeah, let me check some levels here. Hello, 5555. You know, you see the clip light on one channel before the other channel, and that tells me the two channels aren't balanced perfectly. And I know why they're not balanced perfectly, because the parts are cheesy-ass parts, and they drift. Let me tell you about that, okay? I've probably got more Radio Shack solder on the air than anybody you're going to hear.
Well, the key thing is that it's on the air. Now, that's impressive.
My stuff's on the air even when it's not, because I have a backup, and I have a backup, because I expect my stuff to crap out.
It's on the air when it's not on the air. Okay, that means your PTT's busted, right?
I got a backup. All I need to do is push a button and dial up 3 pots, and I'm on with a backup. And I can bring the backup up to within 6 dB of this with another couple of toggle switch turns and pops and whatever you do with them.
Back up to the backup.
The upgrade to Kester's?
Oh, Kester was cool, but it smelled really good, which means it's not good for you, because anything that really smells good, like bacon, you know, or ozone before a lightning storm, you know, it smells really good, it's bad for you. So I'm really afraid of Kester.
See, that's what...
That used to generate some O3. That was cool stuff.
That's how I buy solder, man. I smell it. Whatever smells the best while it's burning, you know, is what I get. Indium solder. That's the sweetest smelling solder I've ever had. I think I have Kester right now. But Radio Shack solder is good, Paul. I mean, that's the good stuff. Remember back in the day, I had a couple rolls of solder in my Radio Shack solder. That was the good stuff, man.
I would not just look at the W2BTK.
This is a big old double.
I thought ozone used to purify.
It does, but it's not good for your person when you breathe it. It's a carcinogen, lung carcinogen. Listen, we can all retire on this. Marijuana solder. You have some THC flux. I mean, you know and I know that it doesn't really do anything for aches and pains or all that, but we put some THC in the flux, and while people are soldering, they could get a buzz. We could all retire on that.
You know, there have been times when I've tried to get the bowl going with a red-hot slobbering iron.
You know, so this way you could get something done. You could build a circuit or repair a circuit and, you know, get out there in the zone at the same time. Just imagine that.
And if it didn't work out, it didn't bother you.
Yeah, I wonder what the practicality is of slobber. Not with rosin flux, but with THC flux.
You don't need any practicality. That's the new thing, Timmy. It doesn't have to really work. It's all based on hype. It could be total crap. Like eating 3 tons of fruits and veggies every day. Have you listened to AM radio?
Nah, I don't listen to AM radio unless there's some good tunage on it.
Needs to have really not.
I'm trying not to double with you. I'm trying, Billy.
A lot of AM stations have gone formats. People are damn tired of all the right-wing talk show bullshit.
Billy.
What?
Your input is valued, especially on the subject. And I know you're trying not to double. You got to get rid of that latency with your receiver, and your problem will go away.
I know. But I love this receiver. I was gonna say you get rich, but only if you need a really nice packaging. Like you could these days, the way it works, right? At least with people my age, like you could have crap product, but if it comes in really nice packaging and you get a nice experience when you open it up, it's good and everyone will buy it.
Being like Brigitte Bardot.
What?
A really nice package.
Yeah. What? Hold on, I gotta turn my reverb off. That's too much.
Calling the reverb net. Years ago, we used to have the reverb net.
I prefer a subtle delay, like an echo delay. It's cleaner than reverb, but reverb's fun. I just did the reverb because it was like hyped up. I don't know if you remember a couple months ago, everyone was like all hyped up on the reverb, on the S sounds, you know.
Maybe a little bit. As far as bygone nets, a net in the 90s. How many of you remember the dry dock net? I guess nobody does.
I was a super JN back then, man.
Yeah, middle 90s. The dry dock net, because quite a few of us didn't have women in our lives, and our logs were in dry dock, and we'd get together and reminiscing about the times when we did.
We call those these days incels, W1LQA.
That's W1LQA.
Well, not hearing them all that well. Maybe it's too close, or maybe because I'm using the wire array.
Where are you, LQA?
Waterbury, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
See, he said Connecticut. Unlike Clark, he says Gannadigat. Like, I thought that was actually how people said it who were from there, but apparently it's just Clark who says Gannadigat.
Clark's unique.
I'm not from here, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Well, no, I'm honestly good for you. I'm glad you say it properly. You gotta encourage others to do it.
Copy that. How you hearing me down there, Billy? You hearing me okay?
Yeah, 50 dB SNR. You're way in there.
Okay, you're sounding good here at Annapolis. The name is Paul, and I'm located just outside city limits here at the capital of Maryland.
Double.
It's giving LQA a report. You're sounding fine here at Annapolis there. The name is Paul.
And you're sounding fine down here in Hanover, Pennsylvania. The name here is Rudy, N3TQW.
AM, and Billy was the one who made me do it, so you have him to blame now.
Yeah, Billy.
There you go. Well, welcome. I guess Timmy's the only one who can't hear you too well. But yeah, glad you made it, man.
Well, Georgia Signal came up to where I am hearing him now, you know.
Yeah, I can, I kind of started light on the power here, so we're running it a little harder now, about 450 watts. That's about as much as I'm comfortable pushing through this amp, so hopefully that works.
It's working.
Type of amplifier, 450 watt sound carrier.
It's peak power.
Yeah, for most amplifiers, that's really beating it.
Well, that's not what I'm driving it with. That's what's coming out of the amp.
Most people read peak power anymore, Timmy. Where have you been all these years?
Yeah. Well, people got to get with the carrier program.
Well, wait a minute now. If you're somebody that's used to those other modes, and you were brought up on those other modes, and you're trying out AM for the first time, you're used to looking at a peak reading situation. That's how it works. I mean, man, it's not 1966 anymore.
When did that happen?
No code, no peace.
New licensee here. So I appreciate your patience and understanding as I learn more about the hobby. Thank you.
It's working. It's working. Your station is working fine business. No problem.
I'm just busting. You gotta know this part of the hobby often has the gloves off. It doesn't mean a thing.
Oh, I'm thick in. That's fine. Just remember, if you dish it, I'll dish it back. So that's okay. Not a problem, fellas. Happy to be here. W1LQA.
Yeah, all right, that'll work.
Yeah, that works.
Fine business. W2 very weak, because it's ID time, Paul.
No, it's 48.
This is WA1HLR at 10 minutes before the top of the hour.
Yeah.
That's right, Ron.
W2BTK.
And 3 TQW.
Billy over here sounded like Laszlo Jones on Grand Theft Auto.
Please Twitch stream up there?
No, I don't. I don't have any computers turned on at the moment.
Man, I remember when you didn't even have a television set. Remember that?
Yes. I do get reminded of that. Oh, I don't watch TV. I'll never have one of them. And then, I don't want a computer. I don't want one of them.
I remember when a sewing machine first made its appearance in your shack area.
Oh, my gosh. Now that goes back.
Yeah. Remember the Clinton group?
Oh, my gosh. Take me back. Didn't that get us a free pizza? WA3PJB.
Nobody knows about that. Like, nobody that's on the air except for me and you. People would not believe that if we told them.
That was the original Rolling Rock, too. That was #1.
I still have the same hood ornament that was on the front of my Cadillac that represented the politician from New Jersey.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, you had the credentials. There was no doubt.
Those pizza people pulled into your driveway, and we had license plates from Pennsylvania. What do we have? Somebody from New York, New Jersey, PA, maybe Virginia, Maryland.
We had New York because Gary was there. And we had, where was Warren from? New Hampshire? NY2H?
Where was he then? He was somewhere. Yeah, that's right. And he knocked him in on 160 meters. Remember that?
Sure do. That was the one and only time I ever did 160-meter talk-in. It was fantastic. That was the D3.
Yeah, that was something. Because I remember Warren saying that John K1DEU said that don't bother with a 160-meter mobile because it won't work. So, of course, it worked.
John likes a challenge like that.
I've been on 160-meter mobile, but when I got things working, it worked real good.
Well, the cops used to use it, so of course it works. Post-World War II.
Yep.
And previous, too. Right before WW2.
Yeah, well, even Highway Patrol in the 1950s was still using it. The TV shows, you can still see the antennas.
Really?
Be careful what you see on TV.
I don't watch TV, but I've heard it from others.
It's just a mixture of red, green, and blue. It's not real.
Well, that show was in contrasting shades of black and white.
So what's it like to be an old-time news person that actually knows how to ask questions, Paul? Because you might be the last one.
It's pretty weird sometimes. There's a guy in Ohio, Sherrod Brown, D. Ohio, and he likes to bust me because I'm about his same age. And we'll get in one of these, they call them gaggles, where you got 5 or 6 reporters, all of us on a video link of some kind, and we were all asking our questions of him. And
Jesus.
maybe more than once. And Brown will call on me and say, now, what's he asking?
That's pretty good, man. I tell you what, I come away from looking at TV news, quote unquote, and some print news and stuff online mostly, and I have questions. I've got preguntas about this piece, and there's a whole bunch of things that you would ask if you're the person that's being informed about this. What do they need to know? And it's like nobody thinks about it like that. And you know what that's replaced with? The really good reporting and fact-finding. It's replaced with frickin' opinion, and it drives me nuts.
Oh yeah, well, you and me both. I mean, I wasn't raised that way in the profession, and the only thing I can say to kind of try to perpetuate the older standards, which I think are better, is the internships that I've done over the years. I just had a girl graduate this past spring into a job that after an internship of us running around Capitol Hill, and she really got the kind of hands-on experience of the old style, me, of asking questions and knowing if you're being spun or not, and knowing which questions to ask to obtain the kind of answer that's informative. That's not taught in the classroom anymore, if it ever was. I swear, the most of the knowledge I ever picked up was out in the field anyway. It wasn't in the classroom, because most of your university professors are the ones who couldn't cut it in the business.
Yeah, it's like being an EE. You don't know crap until you get out in the world.
Learn by doing.
Screw an EE. I want to be an OO.
You want to be an OO? I'm going to give you something to report, pal. You let me know when they give you a badge.
I would be a good OO.
Oh, yeah, you'd be the best.
Hey, man, you want to see my considerate operators report from the ARRLOO? It names me specifically.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite a prize.
I didn't think that, they wrote anything positive about anyone ever. Just, that's... Wow.
Yeah, man, I must have done something right, and it didn't even cost me, a subscription or anything.
You have it framed?
It's in a drawer somewhere. It's not framed. That'd be a little pretentious, I think.
Yeah, but that, overly pretentious would be, good, something so bad it's good.
Well, this took place about 10 years ago, before there was any rehabilitation of the ARRL regarding AM, and it lists the mode on it, too. So this guy was taking a chance.
It's like Alice Cooper calling up Ozzy saying, "You bit the head off a bat? That's great."
Yeah, and he accepts the compliment. Heard a portable in there. Who was that again?
Kilo 1 Queen and Revenge, and I'm portable in Boston area.
A little thin in here. Did you get him, Dave?
I heard. Repeat that a couple times, please.
Kilo and QAR.
Apparently Billy out-hears everybody.
I worked here the other night, didn't I, on Friday night?
fire going, and I'm
Is someone crooning up frequency? I think someone is crooning near the frequency.
We might just have to move down a little further. I don't hear any activity of any legal type with call signs and people that adhere to Part 97 down lower.
Sounds like a clear spot then, huh? What do you want to drop down one or two?
We'll see. I'm going to leave it open for consideration by the group because I'm like that.
yeah, the fish.
Mighty democratic of you.
Don't call me that.
Long as, well, I'll have to get my ass up out of the chair and twitch the drifty VFO.
If you got to get your ass out of the chair, that's where I draw the line, Timmy. Never mind, forget it.
Oh, that's going to generate some gas.
Chair.
God, there's a lot of people on frequency who have got to get out of their chair to move.
Yeah.
I put the panel on my high voltage area here so I could bobble around without getting hurt.
I gotta consider hemorrhoid relief.
You still have sweaters on the high voltage transformers?
That wasn't a sweater. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that was.
On the stand-up operating position.
I stand up here. It helps with the vocal diaphragm.
You know that. Can you do that, Paul? Can you really do the thing from the duodenum? Because that's very, very important.
It does help the duration, if not the tone.
You know, I'm into my desk that I build here is one of those motorized jobs, so you can go down to sitting height and you hit a button and it'll go up to standing height. I'm gonna stand and I'm gonna see if you can hear the difference.
Now who you jiving with that cosmic debris?
Go.
Oh, there goes Billy.
Holy crap, it is motorized. I thought you were full of crap. And now I'm still watching your camera go up, so.
Yeah, look at that, man. We're fancy.
Billy, you need a T-shirt with something. Your T-shirt says nothing.
I was wearing my Cannibal Corpse shirt yesterday, so I figured, that was pretty over the top. I'll just tone it down. We'll, kind of cancel it out.
Yeah, where's your brand deal? Why don't you have like a Supreme shirt or something?
Oh, well, I'm not much of a hype beast. I think most of my clothes are like left over from like 2004. I'm not one of those millennials. I'm on the older side of millennials, so I don't care about all that crap.
Top of the hour, WA3
Label.
N3TQW signing.
At 1 minute past the top of the hour, this WA1H and LR.
Beechwood Mountain and Valley.
Hey, we'll see you later, Rudy. Thanks for stopping in here. It was nice talking to you, N3TQW. W2BTK, Montana Mountain.
Thanks, Rudy. Nice to hear you on here.
We're getting out of here, Rudy. All right, we'll look for you again.
City, Connecticut.
What call sign is Rudy?
That is correct, Timmy. N3TQW. All right, thanks, guys, for allowing me to join in tonight. It's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed myself. I'm glad to do this more often whenever I get the time. So you all got to take care, have a good weekend, what's left of it. This is N3TQW. We're going to be clear and off the...
Yeah, nice to have you around, Rudy. Hope you'll come back early and often, and good to make your acquaintance here. I think this is, second or third time we've talked. Nice to have your company.
Hey, thanks for the host, man.
Well, good to meet you. I can hear a word here and a word there. You need to get more of a signal up here into the state of Maine.
Billy.
Yes?
You want to do the rate to QRMer?
Yeah, tonight he's really, everybody's kind of over him. I mean, we got some tall ships in here, so he's got his work cut out for him. I've been able to hear everybody through it, and I believe like the underlying point of what he's doing is to disrupt our communication, so he hasn't been able to. I'm gonna just like as a general grade, and we can go into the specific areas of, you know, QRM abilities, but as like an overall general all-encompassing grade to the QRM tonight, I would go F. Like just straight failure. Doesn't matter if you get close. If you're not able to talk or do that over anyone who's in the QSO, I should say, it's an F, straight up. I mean, we could get into specific areas. You might get a couple points for something here and there, but in general, an F, straight up. What do you think, Dave?
I think that the QRMer has a really total lack of any kind of content. You know, it's just some kind of noise that lasts for 4 seconds at a time. There's no personal, I mean, the QRMer has no personality whatsoever. It's like when you eat really hot pepper and it doesn't have any flavor, and it doesn't last all that long, and you know, your whole lifetime it was annoying for like 5 seconds at the most on a good day with the wind behind it. So we've got like no flavor, might smell a little bit funny, some guy worrying about burning up his 811H with an old rig from the 70s that he found in a garage sale. And you know, the fact that somebody would come in here and they don't like the activity, I mean, all this great AM, this is angel music, advanced modulation. You can't have AM without AM. Amateur radio, you can't have that without AM. And somebody wants to come in here and make a statement with an unidentified, quote-unquote, interfering signal, because I can't even say that anywhere but within quotes. 100% duty cycle. You hear this here? My transmitter is from 1957. I've got 100% duty cycle. How about you, Mr. Quirmer?
He has no duty cycle, or else it would burn up on him.
Well, given that the brand new guy here, I'm still able to work around him. I hear all you guys very well, and I imagine you guys are hearing me okay over him. So with all that put together, I give him 0 out of 5.
There you go. Not effective what they're doing at all, and that's a great point, Dave. It seems like they're doing, you know, maybe 2 to 3 seconds, maybe 5-second tops of those bursts of wideband noise, and leads me to believe you're probably right. He's on an inferior final, probably some kind of 811H Ameritron kind of deal with ham radio outlet crap, pre-made coax jumpers, stuff like that. And it's going to blow up. If he attempted to make a transmission like the one you just made, which wasn't even very long, it's certain, 100% certain, I know it in my heart that guy's crap would blow the hell up. W2BTK with some not continuous duty cycle, but enough duty cycle to piss you off.
Yes, and all transmitters here at Henry Yellar Radio are OBT rated. That's Old Buzzard Transmission rated. So I can out-buzzard a quirmer who's trying to quirm.
I'm waiting to see like a cardboard sign at a ham fest with a couple of letters backwards, like on the Little Rascals, because they can't really spell, possibly written with a crayon that says, "I tried to quirm W2BTK, and this amplifier is for sale at a cut rate. Please take it away. I don't know what's wrong with it."
Yep, burned up the plate transformer. 811s of holes in the plates.
Yeah, well, at least they don't stink that big. I mean, dude, he might be using transistors for all I know. You know, maybe one of those like $7,000 ICOM solid state 1,500 watt PEP deals or something. Maybe he's got something special like that. That's why he's keeping it short, really babying it. Doesn't want to blow that thing up. But, geez, at least the 811. I mean, I'm sure that would have a funk to it. Like, it would smell like blown up stuff, but at least it's not, if it's solid state, that's bad. Reminds me of the time when, well, this is a while ago, Dave was there. A guy blew up about 128 transistors all at once. And then he had to drive, that was in a mobile. And the stench of all those 10 ohm resistors from emitter to ground or whatever the hell it is to burn up in those things, that had to have lingered on his long drive back to Chicago. I'm getting off on a tangent though.
He might be dead.
Blow it up.
What was that, Timmy?
Has anybody heard from him?
I was asking, how did he blow it up? And Paul, who's that? You asking about who?
Well, Dave, yeah, I don't know. He's, who knows what the hell. I guess he still owns that company. And I haven't heard from him. Nobody's really heard from him. And Timmy, he blew it up trying to talk over me. I had a tube, a small tube. This is a 6,000 in my mobile. And he was trying to talk over me, and he blew up 128 2SC2879 Toshiba Japanese lady style, peels.
Yes, three-legged fuses.
That were made in Fukushima. And after Fukushima flooded, if you needed a 2SC2879, you were fill in the blank.
That's right, and now they're like, for a matched pair, I bet you get like $200-300.
Stand by, everybody stand by. Let's see if we can hear the Cormer.
One.
For some reason, the Cormer has become VPW.
Yeah, well, just imagine. You gotta try to quirm this QSO, really? We're the most interesting thing on this whole entire band. And I'm not saying that lightly. There's nothing more interesting than this QSO.
WA3 VJB.
Hi. So...
This WA18 yellow 11 past the top of the hour.
Timmy?
What's that?
Is your clock wrong? I've got two nuclear clocks that say 9:10 or 10:10.
You might be running a minute fast. I'll have to check it with an accurate chronometer and reset it.
Don't you know how to say nuclear?
Yeah, I was going to say nuclear, so you'd appreciate the moment.
Yes, nuclear.
What is it about that? Something that can end the whole entire planet that we live on. And even presidents and people who are supposedly educated can't say it right.
Well, they have assistants to say that for them.
They didn't then because they couldn't say it.
Well,
who is that? G.W. Bush, I couldn't say nuclear or uranium.
Neither one of them could say it correctly. They both said, the old man and the younger said nuclear.
What the hell? That's worse than getting pulled over and saying ossifer.
You got a nuclear missile on your roof.
Nuclear news.
Yeah, you got an isotope hanging out, man. You got problems. You better go see a doctor.
Isn't there a suppository for that isotope?
walking up and down Fifth Avenue in New York City, you have these really cute-looking Oriental girls trying to sell you this eye cream that you put under your eyes that makes you look years younger. You know what it really is, right?
Don't know if I want to ask.
You didn't, but I'll tell you, it's really hemorrhoid cream.
Oh, no.
So if you gotta go on camera, you should know this. Preparation H hemorrhoid cream. What? Under your eyes will make you look years younger.
Well, that's like Timmy in the 50C5. I think little Billy Highland carried a tube of that, didn't he?
This has got nothing to do with that, Ed. It's got to do with you got to be on camera and you want to look good. You want to tighten up those the wrinkles, man. It's all about whatever chemicals are in that. You'll feel better about yourself.
Yep, keep it tight as soul.
Is little Billy Highland still around, Timmy?
I have absolutely no idea.
Well, he doesn't send you Christmas cards or anything?
Nah. I don't think he even knows where I live.
We can fix that.
No, that doesn't need to be fixed.
Hey, we kept West Friendship Merrill in the secret all these years.
Yeah, you know.
Close behind
Foxtrot after the late KB3 AHE, the slab bacon.
Did you say slab bacon? My ears perked up.
Oh, gee.
Yep, the slab bacon with the fat meat is shaken.
He was a character on here at night, man.
I know, I enjoyed him immensely. And the Derb.
Yeah, and the Derb. You're right. Both of them were characters, and they were very quick-witted. You know, they'd take the thread of the conversation, and they would really get a hold of it.
Yep. Well, boy, things have changed now.
And they don't make hams like that anymore.
A long time ago.
Bacon steaks.
I mean, I don't know if you were still listening or not, but Kevin, WB4AIO.
Yeah, I heard him in there. I had sound.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were still listening in or not, but man, I've known him since 1976.
And that, my friend, goes back a long time ago.
That gave me a headache.
Well, they don't mass produce people like that.
You know, every once in a while, I'll run into Kevin. He had a good signal up here. That he did.
Well, he had that T368 with a pair of 4400s and a modulator that always sounded just plain delicious.
Yeah, I wondered where that transmitter went.
I think he still has it. It didn't go anywhere when he was off the air a while.
Well, I remember seeing it. And he stuffed in one of those 1-to-1 ratio RCA mod transformers. And many years later in the 90s, when LN2SHG picked up a T3, in sorry excuse, over the weekend I had him bring it up to the shop. So I started playing around with the thing. The problem with it is that the modulator bias adjustment pot was open, so I found a brand new one on the shelf and plumbed it in, and then I hooked up the audio oscillator and started doing testiclings, and then bit by bit, you know. And then the final piece de la resistance was he had one of those RCA 1-to-1 ratio transformers, and I mounted it in there. I had to clean out the stuff that was relating to the DC filtering for the carbonium microphonium, and There's just enough room to fit that in and a bigger filament transformer and put a pair of 400s in there and put a metal plate enclosing part of the spaceship and a muffin fan to get some good air. Got that thing going. It would do 150% positive.
Oh yeah, that was a heck of a mod, and that transformer apparently barely fits in there.
It does, just barely, but it fit.
198 milliamps.
I know. What's wrong with 200 mils?
There's some engineer somewhere, probably a physicist of some type, that did something else in life and landed up working for RCA. He was on the skids, and he insisted it's 198 milliamps.
I've always wondered about that.
Yeah, if you ever want to find out, you got to successfully hold a seance.
What, levitate the transformer off the table?
No. You need to reach back into the mind of the dearly departed and say, what the hell were you thinking?
That sounds like a Ouija board situation.
Well, you have to watch the whole entire Dark Shadows black and white series.
Unsolved mysteries.
Some guy's trying to quirm with the swishy Vifo and he just failed. I think he fell right on his face.
Perfect double.
Really?
Oh, this is way too much bandwidth. We're goddamn damn guy. Come on, you're on the way here with an old damn crapper. It sounds like heemy, jeemy.
It's just like the old days, you know?
Yeah, man.
Popular again.
Yep.
Hey, this guy sucks at QRM. Check it out.
Worth my time. And the time is 20
And it's Daytona 500.
Sounds like he is an offspring from the Fae, the Swisher.
The Swisher. I was waiting to find a Johnson product with a really worn-out planetary drive someday at a Handfest.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what he's doing with his other hand.
Yeah. Well, now I'm looking at the cock, and believe it or not, my batteries are in the depletion mode.
Oh, you can't leave now.
I know.
It took all this time to get Cormer that's 2 dB stronger than the regular Cormer out here, and you're going to sign, Timmy?
Took too long to bake it, and someone left the rig out in the rain.
I don't think that I can take it.
It took so long to make it.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow,
I'll be alone now.
Hammer of the gods.
Keep it coolie, baby. I keep it coolie, baby.
We got to do that. Have entire nonsensical lyrics QSO.
Now, among us, we could probably do that for at least an hour.
I'm not firing on all 8 cylinders outside the game.
I mean, Python back and forth for like 10 minutes.
Oh, I know.
I blow my nose at you.
You fart in your general direction.
I'm really disappointed at the modern state of QRM. It sucks just as bad as news. But anyway, Timmy, nice to hear you on, as always, OM. And if you're NiCads or NiCadding out, suggest lithium ions. Good night.
Yeah. It's lithium type ions. Yeah, I am winding down. I haven't been getting quite the sleep I need. You know, it just creeps up all of a sudden. Yeah, well, the noise from the ham shack is seeping through. Well, my wife came in and closed the door tightly because all the noise and all the T-rash seeping through. Now my batteries are running low. So in that belch, some of the guys later. This is W818YLR.
See you later, Timmy, from W2BTK.
And it was late in the evening, and the XYL said that all the T-rash was seeping through, yeah.
Boy, that can play here, Timmy. Maybe catch them all back.
75 meters. And Timmy was really tired. There's some corner with an old 70s rig. He only had 11.5 volts. Good night, Timmy.
Okay, bye. I'll be right back. Got to, if you'll excuse me for a moment, I've got to take care of some personal business.
TMI. Dave, you reminded me of the RDMs when Timmy was at Eisenhower College.
Dumbass QRMs that didn't have any pay.
You remind me of the RDMs when Timmy was back at Eisenhower College.
No acid involved here.
Not a bit. It looks wild on a pan adapter.
You know what I like to do is encourage him a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, because if he's transmitting, he can't listen.
What'd you say? I can't hear you. The quarters.
Hey? I'm kind of a blow-up.
What? Oh man, I wish this guy would stop. He's overpowering everything on the whole entire band. Wow, this is all-powerful Kramer. I'm sorry.
Oh man, he's so strong he's going to give me an epileptic fit.
You know? What's that video? Everybody weighing Chung tonight. You ever see that?
Sure, man, that's great.
This is the Kramer version of that.
Let me see if I can cue that up.
I've got the key right? I don't know.
You might be a little flat.
The guy's on 3871.30 tonight.
Let's see, according to the DLW freak counter, this guy is a real freak.
I mean, literally, weighing Chung means what the Kormer's missing out on if he weren't on the air.
Are you kidding me? He has trouble with social relationships.
Well, you know, Paul, you guys heard my opinion on the real value of amateur radio in 2020.
Uh-oh.
It's keeping people like that away from small animals and children and the general public. They're weird, they're screwed up, but they're spending their hours on the air trying to harm people. So nobody's going to bust them because in the universe, we're keeping them busy.
So we're providing a public service, which is part of the Part 97 commissioning, right?
It's part, but it's in between the lines. It's not specific. Every amateur should have a copy of Part 97 available to them and read it, and don't ask dumb questions online about whether I can do this or not. Yes. But it's not really specifically spelled out there, but neither are a lot of very important things.
Well, that's all right, because if we can demonstrate that we are producing something of value to society, then, you know, we're golden.
Speaking of golden, W2BW, be back.
W2BTK.
Feel better?
Oh, yeah. Yup. That had to happen. I got Part 97 up right here, right now.
Well, it's a nice evening's read.
I got it bookmarked. So, like, you know, I usually always have some kind of web browser open. So it's just a click away. If I don't have a web browser open, it's 2 clicks away.
What's that Rolling Stones song? Just a click away, click away.
Yeah. Just a click away. Ooh, something. Yeah, I don't know the words.
Yeah, but just a click away is the refrain. Yeah, you got it.
Oh. How do you produce a signal like that? It's like, is that overdriven audio, like from a microphone, like from vocal cords? Is it some kind of broadband noise that's synthetically, you know, synthesized? Or how do you make something like that?
I think you asked Bob Heil.
Why, he's like into that?
Well, it's probably something he'd claim credit for.
Ah, I see. He told me that if I operate AM outside of, you know, this area on 80 meters, 3870 to 3890, that I would get in trouble.
Yeah, I saw the video where he told somebody else that, if not you.
It was the Ham Nation or whatever. He went on right before the AM rally, and he was saying, yeah, get on for the AM rally, but make sure that you stay within, you know, these frequencies, or else you'll get in trouble.
Yeah, well, he's not really an AMer. He's a Johnny-come-lately.
Well, I just thought that was the wrong message.
Education is important.
So is marketing.
Hey, Billy.
Yo, Dave.
Yeah, the band is going along, man. You're down to 30 hours.
Yeah, you went down too over here, right after Timmy signed. So I don't know what the hell's happening. Let me know when I hit S9. That's where I'll know that we're done here.
Now, wait a minute.
That's not normal. That must be late. We got no ionosphere. Sunspot cycle sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
W2 very weak at 10:31.
Am I still getting up and over this, I think he's going like into his mic, but he's got it cranked, like seriously cranked with a K. A K at the beginning and the end. Cranked. to like 11 and a half. I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, my modulator's starting to balance out. I think the worn out crap in channel B is starting to wear out equally with channel A.
My old modulator used to do that same thing. It would, one channel would clip before the other, or yeah, it was real imbalanced. This one, not so much. It's just this one works. Like I'm only using one channel, only one channel lights up. Like all the other ones, if I would use just one channel, you would see an indication on both channels, and I don't know if that was like RF or something weird or who the hell knows. But this one behaves itself. And I looked into it. This is a good amp to have. It's like, it's for like commercial installations where it's going to drive speakers all the time, like every single day, just like boom, 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 make a few hundred watts and keep going.
I still don't understand the whole thing with those specs on that amp where the impedances are much higher than expected, and it might be a thing safe in area. A little bit more cooling. There's something going on there if you do a study of everything that is unusual, specifying its capability. What? Good night and good luck.
Yeah, all right, Dave. We'll catch you later. The band crapped out. Totally crapped out.
Yeah, you're going into the KFS node right now, as well as one in Sedona, Arizona, you guys. You're sounding good out west.
How about you, Paul? You sounding good out west?
I'm not quite up there with either one of you, but I can hear it.
But Paul's got the out-powered by content, and he's got a low antenna. And you? I don't know what you've got.
It's up around 90 feet these days, still a quarter kilowatt.
Yeah, you should be kicking ass out there.
Well, it's not quite. The Sedona site is S9, and you're about 10 over, and Billy's about 15 over. And then KFS is about the same. I'm not quite as strong into KFS right now.
KFS is an outstanding site.
No, I know. I really like it. As a matter of fact, it gets overloaded sometimes. You can hardly get in at night.
Are you familiar with Hack Green?
No, never heard of it.
Yeah, check out Hack, like H-A-C-K Green, like the color. Well, we shouldn't really be talking about that in the public, but anyway, Hack Green SDR. Check that sucker out sometime.
Okay, that's a new one.
Yeah. Problem with that is they don't have the same allocations as us, and they have to deal with, there's a lot of really jackass people. You think we have them here? They have them over there.
What is it? Utility monitoring, or what's the point?
It's the same SD, whereas what you're used to. But it's in a missile silo somewhere.
Oh, cool. Okay, I will check that out. It's like the survivalists or something.
No, it's not survivalists. It's higher-thinking people who are advanced civilization with creamy teeth.
Okay. I'm getting the picture.
I'm trying to zoom into myself there. Oh, should I say that?
Yeah, somebody's trying to break too, but they're way down in the noise. Hey, are you hearing anybody?
I think it's a 3. I heard a little bit, like almost made him out.
Yeah, it's just too light. I'm hearing them here at home, but I'm not on one of the East Coast nodes right now to get the internet version. Anyway, Dave, are you headed for the door? I missed that when I stepped out for a moment.
I'm in here for as long as we can keep the circuit going, Paul.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. I thought you were checking out.
No, I'm not going to check out for a while. Listen to you on Planet Mars SDR. I'm good.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. This should be a little better now. W3SCB.
Yeah, somebody trying to break in.
W3SJB, I think you said?
SCB. Sierra Charlie Bravo.
Oh, Sam. What's going on?
Not much. Just compression too much on this. I was trying to overcome some noise there a little bit.
It sounds fine to me. I mean, tonight's really not the night to do any kind of critical audio part, like dynamics processing and that. It sounds fine. It's clear, you know. You're good. It's, not sure if Dave or Paul are hearing you out there. You're coming in pretty well here.
Noise on this channel, but I guess just a little bit of background noise, you know. I was trying to cut in there. I'll let you guys get back to it. W3SCB.
All right, Sam. Yeah, I'm not sure if they were hearing you, but yeah, we got all kinds of stuff going on out here. It's a lot of fun, you know. W2BTK.
I hear you here at Annapolis on W3SDV, I think it was, from WA3, Victor Juliet Bravo. Name is Paul, location Annapolis, the capital of Maryland, and you were kind of light in there at first, and the compression did seem to bring it up, the intelligibility up, so it made a difference. But nah, it's not a real good night for your circumstances there, either the distance that we're at or your transmitting setup or what have you, but check in again.
Yeah, I was trying to just have my headset up, but not wanting to work like it should. If you're in Annapolis, I'm holy through a rock, I'm going to hit you. I'm right up in Ferndale.
All right, man. Yeah, good to hear you. Well, for what I can get, good to hear you. Look for you again.
I'm able to copy him here at all.
Fine business.
I'm not listening on the SDRs, I'm just looking at them.
You know, speaking of compression, how's this Optimod sound tonight, Dave?
Well, you should ask me that when you're, 50 over S9. Now,
well, this is where it makes the difference, if it's still carrying the day.
Well, you are blasting through with crap, and there's a little bit of crap. There's some unsatisfied people using other modes who shouldn't really even be in this portion of the band if they're good amateurs. But screw them. I told you. So yes, if you want to know how you pop through a world filled with crud, yes, that part is working. But when you're really loud, you really want to hear that?
No, it's too squashed.
It don't sound squashed. I don't hear artifacts now. I didn't hear them before. Is that the same settings? You have not changed them?
No, it's just been a couple months since I've been on, so everything could have drifted by disuse.
Okay, well, you know what, Paul? That's good. It really is. It works well. You sound great. Yeah, you always sound great. Got one of those voices. I could talk into a piece of dog crap, and it will come out sounding good.
Well, that's how I got along with the T368 for so many years.
You know, that's a good point. And I was picturing that when I said dog crap.
I know. That transmitter, that thing gave me about 20 years of its life, and it was good. That was a nice transmitter. It had that wonderful MFP aroma. I wish I could find candles with that aroma, because, man, once that got cooking for an hour or two...
Well, I wish you'd get your homebrew 10-meter rig going, One last time on 10 meters. 10 meters is important. Anyway, you're really fading away, and our signals are really fading up there into California. We're looking at the smoke, the flames, the earthquakes, the taxes, and all the crazy crap. We're still coming out. Hopefully, we're not coming.
Yeah, you just took a tumble, too, so I think the short component has fighted away.
Time to sign, so Paul, Billy, anybody else, the corner, right away, you suck. And I don't mean that right wrong. I'd like to tell you, you should probably find something else to do besides trying to phone people. With way better stations than yourself. Unless you want to become a successful caller. In which case you should make some money. Spend about 20 years growing up on how radio works. Maybe hike the line voltage in your place and stick your finger in the fuse panel. Love you too, very weak. Good night, folks.
Hey, good night, Dave. Nice talking to you. And I agree, Cormer sucks. Find something else to do. You suck at this, or just get better at it and try again. I don't know, or just take a little time off, contemplate. That's all.
And good night, Paul.
Hey, catch you guys later. It's been a fun evening on the radio. I enjoyed it. W2VW, W2BTK. All the ships at sea. Good evening from Annapolis. WA3VJB. Out of here for now.
And see you later, Paul. W2BTK.
I just feel bad for the corner because now... W2VW.
I know, he's actually gonna have to go find something else to do now. We're all signing. Oh well. Sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to leave you out there all in your lonesome, but well, see you later, you suck. W2BTK.
Feel like I'm facilitating a child rape somewhere by getting off the air. This person's no longer going to be occupied. I feel bad about this. Mr. Corver, let's drive over to my house. I'm good on QRM. Knock on the door. W2VW.
Yeah, no, dude, I don't know. Like, you kind of got that weight on your conscience. Like, he could get bored now that we're gone and go out and commit some heinous crime or something, Maybe we should stay on here just to keep the guy off the street.
That's exactly how I feel about it, Billy. I feel like I'm letting society down. Ham radio has to have a purpose, and that's what it is. Keeping some laugh on it, or for the general public. And I'm letting the general public down. That's very important. We got COVID-19. We got Blue Lives Matter, people don't respect cops. people who are trained to make split-second decisions, and nobody else has that in their profession. Here we are getting off the air, and the caller is focusing on us. I don't think that's right, because we need to get off the air.
Well, it's a kind of a responsibility of ours then, I guess. So I'll hang out. You're still in there, and we're doing our part. That's all there is to it.
I got a Botswana SDR from Botswana. The Chinese, by the way, have taken over Botswana. Nobody knows about it. It's not even in the news. But they put up an FDR over there, the Chinese, just to show how advanced they are, and they can kick our ass, and they own us. And I'm listening on the Chinese FDR in Botswana, and I can hear you just fine. You're coming in great.
Botswana. Oh my God, CQ Botswana. That's wild. You're serious?
Yeah, man, you're the loudest friggin' thing in Botswana right now. Like 75 meters, like everything in the band. It's just barely visible. I can hear your audio. You're coming in very fine there. It's really stupid. What the hell?
That's wild, man. That's conditions. I don't know how. With this antenna, that's pretty stupid.
And it's owned by the Chinese, and the only reason they're doing it is to throw it in our faces that us American people suck, and that they own us. So, yeah, crazy time.
How do I find that SDR?
I'll send you a link sometime next week. It's kind of classified, and I shouldn't be talking about it on the air.
Oh, okay.
Since I entered the witness protection program, I'm really paranoid.
Dude. Well, hey, check it out. Like, I think the guy gave up. I think he realized that he, actually sucks. Maybe we demoralized him.
Hey, Mr. Corler, can you please come back? I really don't feel good about my amateur radio function. I put up a tower. I got money, time. You wouldn't believe what I got invested to provide a public service, to keep people like you away from the general public. Please come back and switch your VFO and, snort into your mic, whatever it takes, man. Please. I'm sorry if I insulted you. I really didn't. Well, I meant it, but I really didn't mean it. Over.
Man. Yeah, we're begging you, man. Don't leave now. You can still quorum us. Go ahead. Play with your blocks. If you're good, maybe I'll get you like a pretzel and a lollipop later. Just come back. Go ahead. Swish around, like Dave said. It's fine. We didn't mean to run you off of there. Feel free.
About 25 kilohertz minus 28 dB bandwidth, and I can keep up with your Rhoda and Schwartz. We'll just get on here on the swap bucket late at night, and show the swap buckets what the annoyance is about.
Oh gosh, that would be great. Yeah, I'm really itching to take this thing for a spin in the single slop bucket mode. That would be really cool. I don't know. Yeah, I could run pretty much whatever bandwidth I please. It sounded really good at 5K. 5K slop bucket. It was kind of a sweet spot. It was like diminishing returns past that point, But 5K was nice, man.
Yeah, costs a little more than the average slot bucket. You know, there are commercial slot bucket rigs. If you pay a lot of money, you can get 4K. I don't know what the factor is. It's probably pretty good, but they probably have artifacts and crap with that sharp cutoff. Depends how many bits. All that. But yours will be better. 5K, you know, you might stick out like a sore thumb, but then again, you might want to stick out like like 10, 15 years ago. Completely out, and guys going like, here we are, and here we are on our 14178. It's kind of stupid. But at least they were slot buckets, and they learned how not to watch the watt meter. The most annoying thing that slot buckets do is they ride the frickin' watt meter. So you always want to keep them.
Hey, Art, thanks for the follow, man. Welcome.
You gotta remember.
Yeah, well, that's the hardest thing to learn, is not to talk like a retard when, well, I shouldn't say that, not to talk like that when you're on, like a watt watcher on slot bucket. That helps a lot. But, yeah, as far as running 5K and sticking out like a sore thumb, it's not the worst thing in the world. I think that would be kind of cool. People be like, what the hell are you running? And I'll just tell them, I'll look up whatever the latest ICOM, like 10 grand ICOM radio, and I'll add like one more digit to it and tell them it's that. Be like, I'm beta testing it for ICOM. And that'll be a lot of fun. Over. What was that, W2BTK?
Whiskey 1, Delta Tango X-ray, testing the mobile radio.
Oh, W2BTK, is that what you said? Sorry, it's a little low, and you're in the mobile out there, but you got a pretty decent signal for mobile.
Whiskey 1, Delta Tango X-ray, testing the mobile radio. I'm not moving, I'm just testing the radio.
Oh, yeah, okay, I got it real good that time. W1DTX. From W2BTK, my name's Bill, and yeah, your mobile radio is working pretty well there. I'm talking to my buddy Dave out there in Beechwood, New Jersey. He's local to here, and he's way down. The band's very long right now. I don't know if he's able to hear you at all, but we'll see. Hey, Dave, do you hear W1DTX?
Yeah, checking out your mobile. Are you really mobile, or just telling you're mobile?
No, I'm not really mobile. I'm testing mobile radio that's going to go mobile.
Yeah, all right. So you're doing your thing. Yeah, that's a whole lot there. Whole bunch of hoops to jump for. But anyway, yes, you're making it here onto Beechwood Mountain in New Jersey, in central New Jersey. And anybody wants to argue that, I'm good. W2BW. Over.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I can't remember your name, but we probably talked a week ago or so. Getting to be the age thing. Yeah, your call sign reminded me of when I talked about my to tell these days. I the Linear, and right now I just got a 60 amp power supply, and just picked that up recently, and I hauled out the mobile radio. It's going to go in the car, but I wanted to see what it would do. And apparently it's getting out.
It's getting out just fine.
I love power supplies. Power supplies are going right.
Yeah, the audio probably sounds mobile-ish, but I'm hijacking the base station antenna to do this, so that's the cheat.
Roger. Well, switch to noise-canceling mic if that's what you're using. Other than that, not a problem. Yeah, I like power supplies. I don't care if it's 1 volt and 1 million amps. 1 million volts at 1 amp. I'm good.
Well, this is the 13.6, is it, or 14.2, but you know what I mean. 13.6, 60 amps, regulated.
I can smell the battery acid, yes.
Yeah, there's 2 deep cycle marine batteries next to it.
Hey, Billy.
Yeah?
I can't believe that you and I are talking to each other and the band is long. Very funky.
Yeah, it's quite a thing, but I guess, I don't know, it's possible somehow. It's pretty neat, actually. And our buddy's back. He's back to his activities there, and look, we're still talking, so still an F, maybe an F- now, because it's been so long. You could have tried a million things by now, but there's been no disruption to our communication. Isn't that great? The band is long. We're still communicating. You know, it just kind of makes the other QRM guy look really, really, really bad. W2BTK.
You can even hear W1BTK
It's really true that farmers don't have what they used to have. Anyway, it's the witching hour here. I gotta go recharge because I got stuff to do today, tomorrow, and the next day. So, Billy, everybody else out there, and Farmer, please remember to keep yourself away from the general public. And let's stay up another hour just to keep you away from the general public so you can get zonked out at whatever you're taking there so you can't walk and inflict any harm upon helpless animals and young children. Other than that, maybe you can find other people in this band for your mind. Or track with the pusillanimous QRM. I wish you luck, and I hope you find your way in life. Maybe volunteer at soccer or whatever it takes, you know. And make America great again, whatever the hell that means. George Jorgensen and 2020. That's what I gotta say. All right, Billy, I'm out of here. It's 11 o'clock. And that's it. QBTK, BW here on Beechwood Mountain in New Jersey, the highest point there.
There you go. That's all, folks. All right, Dave. We'll catch you later. Really impressive. We're still talking. That's awesome. So I think I'm going to pack it in as well. It's been pretty fun. Had some fun tonight for sure. So thanks for the fine business QSO and W2BTK. It sounded good. It's communications, but very clear. I think that'll make a great mobile. So anyway, y'all, and our friend the Quirmer, sorry you have no skills, but you know that you can change that. You just have to look deep within, work on your stuff. You could come out here and be a QRM all-star someday. I believe in you, but right now you suck at it. I'm just giving you some tough love because I want to see you improve yourself. Go practice, read a book, do what you need to do. All right, guys, I'll catch you later. W2BTK on Montana Mountain.
What a loser. Oh, that was fun, huh? He's still going. Oh, bless his heart. All right, guys. Pretty decent stream, I'd say. What do we got? 3.5 hours. He's still going. He's still going. That's crazy, man. That guy. Well, at least we kept him off the streets for a while. If he's QRMing us, he's not out in public doing anything, which is good. So, a lot of dudes popping in here tonight. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Thanks for stopping by. It was fun. I'll catch you guys next time. Probably not going to be streaming tomorrow. I'll get some family stuff going on. But if all else fails, I'll catch you all in the Discord. I should post the link to that before I go. Should have it open. That's what I should have. If all else fails, I'll be streaming next weekend. Either Thursday or Friday, Saturday. But you can always hang out in the Discord. I'm going to post a link right here. So I'll pop in there. You can say hi, ask questions. A lot of guys from the chat hang out in there, so see some familiar faces. All right. Peace out, everybody. We'll catch y'all next time.